Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yes!
Before we get into it, I want to remind you to leave a like on the episode, subscribe to the channel. We got a very special announcement. All-Star Weekend 2025, Numbers on the Board is going to be doing a live show. So if you're in the San Francisco area, pull up, man.
Back in the Bay, baby.
Not even in the San Francisco area, just somewhere around there.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I see it first.
I've seen people fly in.
I do like
couple
this.
hour drive.
Right?
I put a look on my face like I smell some piss. Y'all know.
They tune
Rest
you
in
on
peace,
for that.
rest in peace, Mac Dre, man. Rest in peace, Mac Dre.
That's all the details we got, though. So we don't know the venue or the time. But just I'm putting it
Coming
on y'all
soon.
calendar so you can plan accordingly if you're going to be in the area.
Because the ex people that was in Vegas, they would tell you that it was a very
Oh,
good
you
show.
chunky on the wrist today.
Oh, that's
listen,
new.
It is
Yes,
new.
you chunky on the wrist today.
That was a little Christmas gift from wifey.
Okay.
Oh, you chunky on the wrist today.
You ain't got yours on?
Oh, I got a little
Oh, something slight.
Hamilton.
KB, you got? Oh no,
I got the
Hamilton.
Apple Watch.
he got the Apple Watch.
Hamilton black strap. You know what I'm saying?
I've been on my health kick, so I need the Apple Watch.
Okay.
This one of
Close
those.
my rings.
This one of those. What's those?
Okay.
They don't know.
Mike?
Have you closed your rings recently?
Hell no.
I
Not
don't
even
wear
close.
watches.
They said your rings weren't even open.
They haven't been open. My numbers are also OC. They were from when I was really working out, so like the numbers are like
Y'all
so
see
high.
you never gonna reach it.
So like it's really hard to reach them now.
Okay.
And I don't know how to adjust them either.
Mike ain't got a
Mine
watch.
is like on the first setting, so I'm
Mike ain't got a watch, but he got a bracelet.
I always wear this bracelet.
We gotta get you a watch, Mike.
I got him a watch.
I'm not really a
Oh,
watch
you
person.
did give him a
Yeah,
watch.
you did.
I still
I got
got
like
it
a
too. I
scale
found it
on
when I
my mic.
moved.
I found it when I moved.
I'm
That's
there.
crazy.
$800 watch. I
That's
found
crazy.
it when I moved. That's,
What type
I
of watch was it?
I forget.
It was it's a Submariner watch. That's all I know.
Oh, that's
So you had an $800 watch and you lost it for
No,
free
I-
too.
hey,
Free, didn't pay a single
hey,
penny.
next-
It
I
was a
lost
gift.
it at my house.
hey, next time we
But
make
you
a
want to take it back?
I ain't got no use for
hey,
it.
next time we make a
Yeah, like-
song, put
yeah.
that in there. $800 watch. Found it when I was moving.
Yeah, I get that number up though. $2,000 watch for the song. You gotta.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Joe.
you gotta flex.
Exaggerate
You gotta
just a
flex a
little
little bit
bit.
in the rap song.
Just
for
add a
sure.
zero
little
to
bit.
it.
He shouldn't exaggerate the watch though, because then people is gonna look at him to be a guy that got some on his wrist. So exaggerate your weed.
This flown in from Snoop.
Yes. You gotta match what you can match.
Well, this that Khalifa. They ain't even heard of it yet.
They heard it, Khalifa.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's drop the mic.
No, how y'all feeling? How you just glossed
I'm
over how
glad you
feeling?
said that because I was telling KB I'm a little tired. I had a terrible night of sleep. So if y'all do see me bust a yawn over here, it's me. It's not y'all.
I didn't have a terrible night of sleep, but I was waking up by the snow trucks plowing the snow in my neighborhood,
Mhm.
and I couldn't go back to sleep. So
I was telling Mike, this that type of code that reminds you that you got asthma.
Really?
Oh, you got
Bro,
asthma?
when
To
I
make it
was
hard for you
sick,
to breathe?
Yes.
when I was sick and I tried to take a step outside, I could not because it was so damn cold that like
no, it ain't been this cold. This might be the coldest day.
Well, it's coming up. It's gonna get even colder.
For real?
Soon,
I can't stand it.
Oh, maybe I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. You might be 100% correct. This the coldest day we had to go outside. So some of the really cold days, maybe I was just in the house because we didn't have to come to the studio. But today was the coldest day for me because I had to bring in some stuff, and I was like, bro, it ain't never this cold. Because I usually be hat, gloves, zipped up, but today I was just like, oh, because I had
The
my
sun
car.
was out.
The sun was out, and I had my car warmed up, so I ain't really know until I got out there. But yeah, KB, you feeling that asthma, huh?
Kicking my ass.
How you got asthma but ain't got no ass?
Drop the mic though. If we could add some type of non-basketball game to All-Star Weekend and just juice it up a little bit, what would you pick for that?
Oh, maybe like I know the climate would determine this, but maybe like a softball game or like a nice little kickball game. I think that would be real fun.
Kickball might be low-key funny.
Okay.
I-
Definitely got some guys skipping out on that.
I remember last year, I think Chet had a foul Wemby. Like, he wanted to intentionally foul him because the game was closed down, like, in the fourth or whatever. And Wemby started running, and Chet had his arms out, and he's trying to run for, like, Wemby like this, trying to foul him. They looked like a damn monster was trying to chase another 7-footer. It was just super funny. So, like, something like
Game of
tag.
tag.
Game of tag or something, or, like, we have all the fastest people. They get on, like, they do a race for, like, 40-yard dash, something like that. I think just funny challenges, I think, for, like, super
Awards
skilled.
tournament, wide receiver, cornerback.
I was gonna say flag football.
Who
Imagine
got
trying to
who
throw
we
a
got a
touchdown.
receiver though? Who got the best hands?
I don't know. Everybody and their grandma swear that they can,
Tyler
they can play
Jr..
multiple sports.
You know, Ant-Man.
Right.
Ant-Man is gonna be in
Let's see
that
what you about.
competition.
But a 7-foot middle linebacker, how you getting that pass over there?
He's gonna have to run faster.
Or a fashion day.
I would rock
runway.
if we have everybody on the catwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay,
rock with that.
2K23. Everybody do a catwalk. I don't know. All of this All-Star talk got me a little worried. I hope that we have fun because San Francisco is beautiful, but it's been a lot of talk on what can we do? What can we do? The reactions to what they're trying to implement. Let's just have a regular All-Star, man. Let's just have a regular All-Star. Let's enjoy ourselves. You know what? Let the players take shots
before they get
of LeBron's liquor.
before they get in the game.
Yes.
That's what they're gonna be feeling. They're gonna be feeling a little good. They're gonna be feeling a little good. They probably gonna do some stuff they probably wouldn't do if they didn't.
Everybody, for every missed shot, you got to take a shot.
Oh, that's crazy. There's a lot of missed shots in all.
No, but it's your missed shot. So you ain't got it. If Steph come out and shoot 25 shots and miss 9, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
They just got they got a couple bottles of Lobos just right there on the table.
Instead of Gatorade, you getting you a little shot. I guarantee y'all enjoy.
Somebody finna throw up.
Well, hopefully nobody's taking that many, missing that many shots in the All-Star
I
game.
just could imagine after somebody missed their 4th, 5th
Which y'all
shot,
think is the
they
most
start
missed
running
shot?
back and up and down.
What's the most missed shots in the All-Star game? And who did it?
I'm probably guess Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
Most missed shots in the NBA All-Star game.
it probably had to be Kobe, right?
It don't even tell me.
I was gonna say dramatic pause right there.
It don't. It brings up missed shots, but not for the All-Star game. Y'all petty for saying Kobe.
I mean,
I was just thinking that he's such a high volume guy.
hey, I think it's respectful that he was the first person that came to mind. Because he's probably the most willing person to take about 40 shots in an All-Star game.
Can y'all find it? I'm
No,
trying to
I'm
look.
Googling
Yeah,
it.
you feel me? It does not pop up. Somebody in the comments is gonna watch this show. They're gonna go and do some research, and they're gonna drop it in the comments, and hopefully, we can get that comment liked up so it can reach the top, and then we can pin it. But yeah, somebody figure that out for us. How y'all feeling about basketball right now? Last night was a good night for me as far as a viewer.
It's an awful night for me.
I enjoyed it. Yes.
I couldn't. I went on my
Tell
laptop.
them why.
On my phone. I went through every browser I had, and it just wouldn't let me. Only games I got to see was the NBA TV games because that was on TV.
Which
Which
were?
No. We had the Grizzlies versus the Houston Rockets.
That was a
Rockets
super good game.
Really
take the
great
third
game.
straight game against them, and Jalen Green had another phenomenal.
Look like an
performance.
all-star.
Yeah,
Sure did. And the other game, the Laker game, I didn't watch a single second of though. So,
Yeah, y'all was on Marvels.
it really wasn't
KB,
doing much.
it
It was
got
bad.
to-
It was 89-89 at one point.
into the fourth quarter, and then
Yeah, that's
bro,
where
the
it
fourth
went
quarter
downhill.
was disgusting.
All I
Yep.
heard was Mike say, "Man, I hate this team."
Y'all put up 13 points in the fourth quarter.
And gave about 40 of them. So it's just like
was it disgusting for the Lakers fans, or was it just disgusting overall?
no, disgusting for Lakers fans. The Spurs had a good fourth quarter.
Okay.
And it was crazy because they was hunting Dorian Finney-Smith at a point in that game. They was like trying to get Harrison Barnes to post him up. And it was like, damn, they hunting him? Like
Harrison Barnes is posting up Austin Reeves for most of the time too. Like, or Dalton can like. It's just a lot of stuff going wrong. Not even just wrong. It just feels like every time we get one or two, it goes back down one or two. So we kind of reach like a stalemate. It feel like.
What's your expectation for the season? We haven't talked about the Lakers in a while since y'all got DFS, so I feel comfortable asking you this.
I think it should be.
At this point,
At this point, I think the goal should be to avoid the play-in. I just don't think that another year in the play-in is anything that the Lakers want to do, especially like during these last couple of years, or maybe even last year with LeBron, like, and how much you want to invest in. Seeing your team near the play-in right now, I don't think that's something you're like, let's go ahead and put these last couple chips in, because that might only get us back up a couple seeds, and it's just not worth it at this point.
Yeah, I don't even, when I look at y'all team, I don't even see y'all really having a chance even against like a young Rockets team. Like, I think they would still come out and take care of business, especially with the way they've looked this season. I don't trust y'all to go against an inexperienced Rockets
LeBron
team
has
and win.
7 turnovers.
Y'all hold it down. I'll
yesterday.
be back.
if you could theoretically or hypothetically be the GM for the Lakers, and try to be realistic as possible. What are you doing with this team at the deadline? Because you kind of just hinted at the fact that you don't want to give up, the rest of the stuff that y'all do have to get just a little bit better, gradually better, which I feel like is a conversation we've had when it came to a lot of different teams around the league. I think we talked about it on the Linear show with the Pacers.
Yeah, and it comes down to like a lot of these teams and where you're at in your situation. And the Lakers, this is literally like one of the last chapters. So if somehow, some way they did try to pull off a trade for like the one last go, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's also like this could set up part of your future too. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you mess up this year, you could be even pushed back a couple years from what you already think. Like you already know is coming.
Also, I think yes, you can trade those picks and you mess up your future, but you also have Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis would be a valuable asset out there on the market where you can take this chance, and then once you want to blow this up, you can shop him around and try to at least get some of that draft compensation back that you did expend. So he will always have value.
He would, but it's nothing like having your own draft capital.
Yeah, having your own picks is always valuable.
If you're trading Anthony Davis and you don't have LeBron James, that means you're going into the real gutter.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever you trade Anthony Davis to, that'll be nice to be able to get the picks back. But whoever you're trading these picks to, they're going to be getting the real value of you failing.
Yeah. Right.
So like that's the other thing, because who would trade for Anthony Davis with high value that give you the package you would want? Because let's not forget, we talk about how old LeBron is, but it ain't like he's 10 years older than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And this team with LeBron and Anthony Davis is kind of capped out. So just with Anthony Davis, okay, you trade him. Who's on the market for him? Obviously, we can only predict so much, but I would imagine it ain't like you getting a king's ransom, right? Like, and you ain't trading Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it's no shot on Anthony Davis, but I'm just looking at the packages of what's going around and what be rumored, and you see like, teams give up this amount of 4, 5 draft picks, 3 and 2 swaps. And it's just like, I ain't against what you're saying at all. I agree with that. But if you could do that while still having your picks, now you set up a little different versus we squandered everything away to get 5 games better to maybe.
If we have our pick and we bet, we know at least that we have something solid at the end of the season. If it's somebody else's pick, it honestly just depends on them.
Yeah.
If it's a team that's going to be a late first rounder, it's not the same as having that pick and we the bottom of the league, unless we're literally stacking them up. But
because right now we're in 2025, the picks that the Lakers have are 2029 and 2031. There is no telling what the landscape of the Lakers is going to look like at that time, because in 2029, Anthony Davis is going to now be knocking on the age of LeBron. He'll be 38, 39 years old. So yeah, I just it has to make sense. I was impressed with the Dorian Finney-Smith trade because you were able to do it without giving up the first. But now you kind of put yourself in a position to where a lot of the trades that I'm seeing y'all be linked to, whether they fan trades, rumor trades, just mock trades, they aren't moves that make me look at y'all in a whirlwind of the NBA differently. Like, oh my goodness, the Lakers they now have a shot at contention. And it's also a hard job, and why I asked you to be realistic, because it's the other part where you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, so you kind of always have a chance.
Yeah.
But like you said, one day or 1 week, y'all start up strong, and it looks like this is the team that could go on that run if they get the right matchups. And then y'all have 2 days later a stretch where it's like, this is the Laker team that make me say,
3-game losing streak.
Yeah, I'm not trading these future first picks. I'm keeping them close to the chest because I don't know if this is going to be the team at all. And I'm just very curious to see how y'all pivot after this year. Because it doesn't feel like LeBron is going to retire. He's going to let us know when he's retiring, right? He's going to have a farewell tour.
I feel like at least so Bryce gets right. Bryce somehow gets into the league, right? Do you think that's a goal? I mean, Bronny was there too, but if he can make it for Bryce,
no, didn't he say he told Bryce that
he doesn't have to worry about it or something like that. Like he don't got to rush.
I would hope so. I mean, I wouldn't be against trying it because Bryce is going to be a freshman at Arizona next year. But when I look at both of Bronny and Bryce as prospects, I think it was more believable, and I could see Bronny being more of a one and done than Bryce personally. And even then, we saw, because Bronny's situation with the cardiac arrest, it kind of pushed things back and it reset him and everything. And he still obviously got into the league. But I don't obviously I don't know LeBron's goals, but I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because I feel like if he wanted to retire at the end of the year, he probably could. But there's also like parts of us that think that this dude could probably go for another 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying?
He said himself he could play high basketball for another 5 to 6 years.
But he said he's not going to.
Yeah, but he said he's not. Yeah.
And I feel like LeBron will not exit the league. Matter of fact, I feel like the league wouldn't let him or would ask him to have a farewell tour because what it would do to the league from a financial standpoint.
I couldn't even imagine them tickets.
Every single game. I don't care if it's Utah. Every single game is going to be sold out. It's going to be monumental, and the league can capitalize off of it. And I'm sure LeBron would like to ride off into the sunset, getting his love and appreciation.
There's going to be a big ESPN, like how he did when he when he made the big decision. He's probably going to have one of those type of big press conferences where he's like announcing that he is retiring. This is the last ride.
I don't think it'll be on ESPN. He's too much of his own mogul.
Oh, he might do it on his network. Yeah, his network.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I Am Athlete or The Shop.
Yes.
Or something like that. But I get what you're going. Yeah, I think LeBron, being a businessman, being the face of the NBA, he can do whatever the hell he want. But for the sake of the NBA, he can't just be like, I'm done at the end of this year, y'all. So I think y'all got one more year. That's what makes the job tough. Because if it was me, and from what you be sounding like, y'all ready to call this shit quits after this year. Like, no more Rui and Cam Reddish.
This should be the last going around this year. If we didn't see any chance this year, I don't think it's going to be there next year.
Yeah, then at that point, LeBron's probably just like, yeah, this is probably my last.
Because we have an older LeBron, an older Anthony Davis, and then probably still we haven't constructed the best lineup around this team in a minute since the KCP.
Yeah,
and so like it's just tough having like super good high expectations when it's like you're depending on Max Christie to make shots and be really productive, and he's still obviously growing and he's young, and same with like we expect Dalton Connect to come in hit shots. Obviously he's a rookie. It's like we have a lot of people that we're depending on that is just are not at that level yet.
Before we move on from the Lakers,
we also need a backup center for real. Jackson.
You ain't like Jackson Hayes live yesterday? I'm just joking. Do y'all, as an organization, and y'all can chime in, KB and Darrick, do the Lakers owe it to LeBron, if next year hypothetically would be his last year, do y'all owe it to try to make it a competitive, to go out and now we're talking about using that 2029 and 2031 pick to scramble to put something together? Or do y'all owe it to yourselves to look out for the future of the team? Like next year, if LeBron's like, I'm retiring and the first 25 games don't look right, are y'all allowed to then say Anthony Davis is available? Or is that not okay for LeBron's farewell? Does he have to be competing and playing?
I think he has to be competing. I think it's kind of a trap to think that LeBron at 41 years of age is going to carry your team to a
No. It's not that he's going to carry you, but if you're not good in 25 games in, right? And you want to just say we're making Anthony Davis available, knowing LeBron is not going to be here next year, is that okay?
I don't think they do that, especially with the relationship that LeBron and Anthony Davis have. I don't think they do that.
Also, I think making Anthony Davis available doesn't really help you. I think it hurts you. I think the other team is you're trading a top 15 player. What are you getting in return that's going to keep you competitive?
You're not staying competitive.
Yeah, you're saying in that 25 games.
First 25 games, you don't look good. Yeah, 25 games, you are 11 and 14, or you're 10 and 15.
Yeah, and you're saying trading Anthony Davis essentially to just blow it up.
Yeah, because what else are we doing? We're going to hold on to Anthony Davis for this last year.
And it would be crazy if he was like, this LeBron farewell tour, but he on the block too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like he got to be on the roster.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Lakers owe that to him. I mean, they got to do what's best for them at this point. I feel like they already done what's best for LeBron, and at this point, they got to prioritize themselves.
Which makes me feel like LeBron should prioritize himself. Does LeBron have to end with the Lakers?
No. I bet he wants to, though. I don't know if that means anything.
Like it's hard to tell with NBA players. They say a lot of things.
Especially LeBron. LeBron has said so many different things. Rightfully so, I'm sure. I'm sure you get new thoughts every 2 months. Like, oh, man, the Warriors look nice. Like, at the beginning of the season, he probably told himself that. And then he's like, oh, shit.
We're better than
right. I might as well just stay here. No, you know what I mean?
He probably just don't want to leave LA.
Go back to the Cavs. Oh shit, they doing good without me. They're like, I'm gonna hop on their bandwagon, so never mind, can't go there. Other things from last night. Speaking of the Warriors, 3-point loss to the Toronto Raptors. A game in which it was exciting, but I thought it was going to end up in the Warriors' fashion because these are the games that the Raptors. By the way, this is probably one of my favorite tank seasons. The Raptors are in every single game that they play. They're exciting. RJ Barrett has moments.
They
Scotty
got one of my
Barnes,
favorite players on their
quickly,
team.
who?
Oshai Abaji.
You don't say his name right, so I didn't know that was your favorite player.
Yeah. I said he's one of my favorite players. I didn't say he is my favorite player.
But yeah, they came out, won last night in a game that I felt like the Warriors wanted. My man Chris Boucher, 18-7, a guy that I'm surprised is not on a trade block aggressively.
I think he is because he was getting DMPs until like 3 weeks ago when they were like, maybe we should try to see what he's about so he can showcase his powers to the NBA.
Would you buy into Chris Boucher?
He's 31.
That's literally where I was about to get into. I was going to say, he's so much older than what he looks like.
I think he's like an end of the rotation playoff player.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
just
he
imagine
can
him
contribute to some.
I just imagine him not cost that much.
No, his cost is probably like a second-round pick.
So I'm like, for a guy like him who, yeah, he ain't really changing the entire dynamic of your team, but shit, if
He
I'm
can
just
give
trying
you
to,
some like good minutes though. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like he might have a game where he does have that impact for last game.
He's a streaky shooter, but when he's on,
he's on, man. He's on.
hard to stop.
Bruce Brown, 14 minutes last night. He's played in the last few games for the Raptors. Surprised we haven't heard much there, probably because he's been so hurt.
He's been hurt, so yeah, he has no value right now. So he might not even get dealt at the deadline.
Unfortunately.
So
I think he might just because of
The
the
last
contract.
year? Yeah.
Just because of the contract.
Mavericks? What is he, 20 million?
It's 20,
Yeah,
23.
20 million.
Never mind.
Like 23.
That's a little. Wait, no, you could probably do Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell.
If you really needed that type of production, it's out there.
You might could do that. More so, though, the focus on this game is the Warriors. A team that we looked at the beginning of the season really came out hot. The 12-man rotation, things was working out. Now, here we are. Fast forward to the turn of the new calendar. They're 4-6 in their last 10, kind of where they've been at for the last, month or two. 19-20, sitting at 12th out west. And as of right now, they have real fear that they won't make the play-in. You was talking about your team trying not to be in the play-in. The Warriors have a real threat of not making the play-in and the playoffs at all, which would probably be a real disappointment for a critical year in the Steph Curry last stretch of his era.
Draymond made some comments. Sorry, my anxiety's kicking my ass right now. So
No,
that's
you
why.
good. We rocking.
Draymond made some comments in an article with Vince Goodwill where he said the beautiful part about being in the space that we're in is Stephen Curry, and myself all disagree with mortgaging off our future of this organization, saying that going in right now is what bad teams do, bad organizations do, and we're neither of those two. And I was like, that's kind of interesting because Steph Curry just went to another article on, was it The Athletic, where he was basically talking about how he still got enough in the tank to go for one more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, these feel very conflicting. Draymond saying they don't want to trade stuff for the future, and Steph Curry said he wants to compete. And then Steph Curry in his post-game interview last night was basically saying he agrees with Draymond. So I don't know where it stands because Steph Curry's 36 years old, still gives us moments where we know that he could still be the best player on a championship level team. But if he's saying that he's okay with them not making deal or big-time deals, and Draymond Green is saying that, and Mike Dunleavy is showing that, and Steve Kerr is saying that, then they're probably, what they're doing right now is probably the ceiling of their team. Like, yeah, they'll probably end up in the play-in and get eliminated there, but like your 36-year-old Steph Curry's just going to go out like this season, just have it be a wash.
You think they're
going
going to go into the play-in?
I mean, that feels like what their ceiling is. Right
Oh,
now
their
that you said they're
ceiling,
12th.
I look, when I look at the company that they're in, I think it is a real possibility that they don't make it at all. The Spurs, who aren't fantastic, but the Spurs look like they can make a real push and be a real threat.
I would agree with that.
The Suns are not that good, but they're still right there in that mix. The Kings are playing some of the best basketball in the NBA. The Timberwolves ain't that damn bad. So it's not me saying that the Warriors will miss it, but I'm just saying it's really, really close, and it's a real possibility than I believe going into the season.
They're going to have to go on a big streak. And they're going to have to count on those other teams also struggle.
Yes.
And I don't even know if that's realistic. Like when they were great, Buddy Hield was the greatest shooter to ever touch a basketball.
Yeah, and now he's right back down to earth.
Dennis Schroeder was great when he was in Brooklyn. Since then, have you seen anything good Dennis Schroeder has done since he's been a Warrior?
I think I've seen him hit one big three.
just-
There you go.
And that was like a week ago.
It's kind of, well, Dennis Schroeder is also, he had the ultimate green light in Brooklyn, so it was kind of one of those take a chance type trades where is he going to bring some of that production that he had in Brooklyn over to us? And we really haven't seen that translate.
I don't even know what the feel of this team. I mean, they solid defensively. Offensively, though, it's just like kind of crazy that they have the offense they have, knowing that they have Steph Curry. And they're just so inconsistent on a night-by-night basis that hearing those comments, because I saw some other comments Draymond was saying, but hearing those comments kind of frustrate me. And I would think that the same feeling would be there for the rest of Dub Nation, just because it's like you said, our ceiling is the play-in. We went from – I came into here thinking that they would be a top 6 seed, solidified playoff team. Then it drops, and it's like, okay, they'll probably be in the play-in and compete, and there'll be a team that a young team, like maybe Rockets, wouldn't want to see or experience Golden State team in the first round. Now we're going from that to them missing the playoffs completely. And like you said, Steph Curry is, 36 years old? I just don't see the vision. I don't see the vision.
Well, I think it kind of started in the offseason when Draymond said that he told them not to do that trade, which we don't know what it was, to go get another player. And he told them don't do that because that doesn't help the franchise.
It was Larry marketing.
and-
Reports.
AirPod
so
player marker.
If he had that mindset in the offseason, I'm guessing it really hasn't changed, and that's been his mindset this whole time.
Why is that his mindset, though? That's so stupid.
I don't know.
It feels like they are way higher on their younger talent than the rest of the league is.
Then they should have paid him $30 million.
And they might at this point. I mean, Kuminga hasn't played in some time. Draymond didn't play last night. Potts is out with his injury too. But I don't think any of those are excuses to showcase how bad
Absolutely
it's really
not.
been.
Because those guys have been healthy and didn't look good.
Because even though Steph Curry is still great, it still does look like that he is starting his decline in his NBA career. Do we agree there?
I agree.
Yes.
That it's happening more often than not that he's not the most impactful offensive system in the league. So you're trying to tell me that now at 37 we're going to start to do something? Or 38? That feels unrealistic, man. That feels so very unrealistic. So we might be gearing up for these last couple years of Steph Curry with the Warriors just being average to below average.
Which is unfortunate because I would have loved to have seen it be the opposite way. I would have loved to have seen them make some type of push. I mean, I felt like they weren't that far away in the offseason of just being in that competitive space. I know it hasn't looked real good in Philadelphia, but I would have loved Paul George on this team. I would have loved Larry Markkinen on this team.
Yeah.
I just feel like what these guys can do, the leadership that's there, the infrastructure, you get different results with different players when you put them next to Steph, Dre, and under Steve Kerr's tutelage. So
Especially coming off that season Laurie had just had. And I just feel like he would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah. And I don't know what the hell Larry Markkinen is doing nowadays.
Oh, he chilling.
He collecting that check.
He chilling, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he would have been doing that with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, no, he would have been in a whole. He would have seen him at a whole different level.
The same way I don't think, and I know it sounds crazy to say, I don't think Paul George will look anywhere close to what he looks like right now with the Warriors either. Some guys are just,
Paul George, I don't know. He looks really bad.
he does.
So he still might look really bad over there too.
The thing about Paul George, for me as a fan of him, I think Paul George is not. He's a number 2, and I think he's a number 2 on the floor. And I also think, from what I've seen, he's a number 2 type guy in your locker room. So when you go into a Philadelphia locker room that doesn't have strong leadership, that has guys missing games and they go about their business a certain way, I think Paul George falls right in line with that. When you see him in the Clippers and Kawhi's missing games and they doing it, I think Paul George falls right in line with that. When you put Paul George next to a OKC Russ, who the motor's up, this is what we do, we working. Paul George is like a totally different player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think you put him next to Draymond and to Steph Curry, where the leadership is different. I think Paul George's batteries are wired just a little bit more different than some of the other situations he's been in. And that's just what I see as a fan of the game. It's no coincidence why certain versions of Paul George look different depending on who's in the locker room with him. And those Clippers teams, in my opinion, from what I saw, lack a lot of leadership on what we're doing and how we're going about our business. Philadelphia seems to be the same way. It's only so much leadership a Kyle Lowry can provide when he's not even on the floor. And you look around, I mean, everybody's they over there just chilling. We could talk about them. 76ers, Joel Embiid, he ain't playing today. He ain't played since when? He ain't played in a minute. He's missed like the last 10 days. What's wrong? His foot? Something I ain't even know nothing about.
I don't even look at the
It's a
report.
mystery.
He says he has a sprained left foot or something like that. I had looked it up recently because I was
This
like,
is
why
honestly
isn't he
one of
playing?
like the most non-interesting teams when Joel Embiid's not on the court. And it's just like, I don't know if it's just like you constantly just want to see them with their three guys in that full string, but
I mean, Maxey is still fun to watch when he still does his thing.
We
but
might as well get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Like,
let's
y'all
do
grade
it,
the
man.
Sixers.
Let's do it.
Grade the Sixers.
Yeah.
I give him
Let's
F.
start off with them.
I give him F.
F?
I mean,
F.
when you talk about expectations, this team had championship aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
They might miss. They're probably not probably.
They're 11th right now.
Yeah, they might miss the playoffs.
I don't think they're gonna miss it, but damn, bro. Like
But
they're
I
having
think
a terrible
The reason why I think, unfortunately for them, the teams above them started winning games. So like it was when they had the chance to close the window, Atlanta, the Bulls, and the Pistons all started winning games, and so there was really no close of the gap between those teams.
It's really Chicago who they have to catch.
And
They're only
God
2
they
games
do.
back.
Pray if they do, man.
They only
will.
they only 2 games back from them. My thing is what Darrick said as well. I would give him an F too. It's the fact that you came in with championship aspirations, not that you were going to. And for people at home, championship aspirations doesn't mean that we're picking them to win a championship. It's just that that's their goal and they feel that it's realistic. And so when you go from that and you go to another situation like last year where you're going to have to go into the play-in, you're going to have to win those at the point they in. They may have to win 2 games. Then you're going to have to go and play a Boston or a Cleveland again in the first round. And though those teams are beatable for you, realistically, if the Sixers are healthy, even as an 8th seed or 7th seed, they have a chance.
Yeah.
It's still such a tall mountain to climb. And we just seen it last year where they gave my Knicks a scare. They competed in the first round. It was real close, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And even if you would have won that, it would have been such a tall mountain to climb to continue to have the run that you want to have. And I just feel like you're stacking your cards against yourself every single time. And then it's like, what do you do next year? You're going to come back with the same team, little to nothing movement. You might even be worse because you brought it to my attention. I didn't even think about it. There is a world where, Yabusele does leave. If I'm his agent in his team, we try to work out as much as we can with Philly because we look good there. But you got to get your bag if you're a guy like him. And then now
his market's going up significantly.
Yes. And so now you come back worse and older, and you need these guys to play even more games. And we're back having the same conversations. And, Paul George is only getting older. How old is Paul George?
Isn't that 34, 35?
I would guess.
Yeah,
I
you
think
got to be
34.
34, 35. He's only getting older, man. The games for him played, healthy or not, are going to decline. That's just the reality of what it is, especially when guys get this bag. Look, we don't have to talk in code or talk in secret anymore. People at home, guys get the bag and they sit on their ass. That's just the correlation. I have not seen a guy get. Let me know when y'all find a guy that get the bag and play more. Who got the bag and then played a career year of games the next year? I'm not saying it ain't out there. I'm not
No,
saying it
so
never
he
happened. But off the
definitely
top
found
of my
somebody.
mind, we don't know that. We know the opposite. We know guys getting hurt.
You're just talking about the $50 million bag.
Yeah,
Okay.
the bag.
Yeah.
Who goes out and get a max contract that we know of off the top? I'm not saying it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we more so can name guys who got paid and the games decline. We see that. Like, we can name 5 guys off the top of our head right now. But the opposite, we haven't really seen. And if we do see it, if somebody does go and fact check it, I bet I know what type of player it is. I bet it's a Cade Cunningham getting the extension of a max who's 22 and then he plays. But I guarantee it ain't no 33-year-old who just got his last 4-year max contract going in. That's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
The young guys are still going to play their game.
Yeah.
You're talking about the older 34. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not happening. That's why I
So
don't
Shea
think.
is still going to play his games regardless.
Yeah. I just don't think that even with the Jimmy Butler market, I don't think he has the market he has because teams are like, we're not going to trade and hand you a extension.
And
only
he's doing nut shit.
The only team we're going to get to that.
Oh.
The only team that's doing that is the Suns because they're desperate, and that's why it's like don't trade for us. To call them Bucks, don't trade. We want to go there because they're silly enough to give us a $100 million extension. But I say all that to say F for the 76ers.
There's no other acceptable answer other than F.
F.
The only redeeming factor is Gershon Yabusele looks good. That's crazy.
And that Jared McCain gave y'all a spark. when he was
Also,
healthy.
But he's
Also,
out
we
for
like
the rest
Ricky
of the season.
Council
So
over
it's like,
here.
I don't see any redeeming factor about this team at all. Everybody's playing below what they should be.
And Paul George is bored.
That was out of context.
I know. I was just.
But-
He was bored at playing 5. He
Yeah.
didn't. He
So-
don't like playing center.
I follow a Sixers page.
Sixers Daily.
I think it used to be Sixers Daily, but they changed to like Sixers Galaxy.
Okay.
Or maybe this is a collab between Sixers Daily or something like that. But they were talking about like some moves. And I want to read one of these trades. Yeah, it says, myself and Sixers Daily created more pre-trade deadline mocks for the Sixers. Listen to this trade. I don't even want y'all to grade it. I just want y'all to listen to it. The Sixers are sending out KJ Martin, Ricky Council, a 2026 first-round pick, and a 2028 first-round pick via the Clippers. Who do y'all think that they're getting back?
Super biased Instagram account.
How much money is that between those contracts?
I don't even know. But
Wow.
I want you to just guess who are they getting?
Who are the players again?
Ricky Council and
Yes.
who else?
KJ Martin,
Oh, KJ Martin.
2 first-rounders.
I would guess that's like
Cam Thomas.
$11 million or so.
Oh yeah. Cam
Is this
Thomas
somebody
still
on a
at
rookie
3.
deal still? Oh, boy.
This dude is having a down year, worst year of his career, but there's no way he goes for this package. Keegan Murray.
Oh,
They crazy.
Keegan Murray.
I'm sorry.
But the other, but
That's an awful
the one
trade.
I really wanted to bring up was like I want y'all to tell me how realistic this is. Not that this trade happens, but that they would even trade this guy. They have Jimmy Butler going to the Sixers. The Pistons get Alec Burks in a second-round pick. And then the Miami Heat get Paul George. Is there a world where Paul George could get his ass traded? Maybe not this year. But is there a world where they signed in Paul George and was like, hey, you know what?
Wait,
This is
the
a
Pistons just get Alec Burks?
I think they're helping facilitate the
Yeah.
trade in some
Okay.
type of way.
Oh, they do have $14 million open right
he would
now.
he would
to
go
take some
right
money.
back to Detroit.
Right. And then they'll buy him out and he'll go back to the Knicks, who don't need any more guard play. Oh, maybe a little bit. I'll take that back. Maybe a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the Paul George thing hasn't worked. Jimmy's not working in Miami. Honestly, that trade would probably have to happen now. I wouldn't see it happening next year.
I'd rather just not. I don't want to pay Paul George $50 million in 3 years. Just don't. That's something that's not appetizing to me. Even if he does help us be better now.
And that's why teams don't want to trade for Bradley Beal.
Paul George is playing a lot better than Bradley Beal. The Bucks, what y'all grading the Bucks? Let's start with you. Thoughts, feelings,
see what
grading on
I
the
have
Bucks
put
from
down.
Derrick Miller, the Bucks fan,
For the Bucks,
who ain't wearing the Dames again, even though he wearing purple. Anytime you wear purple, I be expecting to see the Dames
Why?
because I want you to do something other than mop the floor and baby making.
I should have definitely wore the Danes today. I forgot about them. But for the Bucks, I think
He forgot your watch. He forgot the
I gave it a
shoes.
B-.
They don't appreciate your gifts, KB.
I gave it a B-.
I knew that when I gave Derrick a signed Damian Lillard ball and it was sitting in the trunk of his car for a year. It's a signed Damian Lillard ball.
He was
I
in
thought
LA
you was about to say
Fitness
he just-
hooping with that boy.
I thought you was gonna say you seen him at Export. He doing that between the legs, tween with it.
Sign ball in the car is nuts, especially in Chicago with the cold air.
And it's
I
not
just
even that
forgot
it was
about
just in the car. It was like
On top of
plaster
other
on the
shit?
back. So
Yeah,
like
you could see it.
anybody could have just saw, is that Damian Lillard's signature?
His trunk be OC, so the fact that
Yeah.
it was in there, fishing rods, golf
Yeah.
clubs, car seat, Portillo's sweater, mop, Damian Lillard ball.
I gave the Bucks season a B-. I think they did a good job of rallying back behind Giannis. They got off to such a terrible start. They haven't really. I feel like they rallied back, but they haven't really taken that next step. There's another step that this team needs to go in order to get to where they need to be. But I do think they did a good job of bouncing back to getting where they. And I think Doc did a good job of starting Andre Jackson and making good lineup changes. So I think they've been okay with what they have.
I would agree. I would give them a B. They scared the hell out of me to start the season, as they probably did their entire fan base. Giannis started to be in the trade rumors and everything like that. You definitely want to see them reach that next step, and I'm hoping it can happen after All-Star break. I think they could be one of the scary, dangerous teams because they did start off so slow because they do have certain issues that when you look at them, you automatically go to the defensive side of the basketball and whatnot. But I do see a world where, like, they could be a team that figures it out, a switch gets flipped, and you go into the playoffs, and in 7 games, you have to stop a Giannis Antetokounmpo and a Dame Lillard-led team. And, man, when Brook Lopez is Brook Lopezing, when Cash Money Chris is back.
Torian Prince hitting them threes.
Yeah, this team could definitely be a scary team to have to play in a 7-game series. No matter what you think of them, no matter what their defense looks like or how stagnant the offense can be in certain nights or certain possessions, or you turn on the game and they struggling with some weird random team. The playoffs is still a 7-game series, and they have 2 dudes who can turn it up and figure it out on any given night. And to me, I still fear them, and I'm just happy that they didn't allow themselves to stay at that bottom. And I think there is a world where they could catch up and be a top 4 team going into the playoffs. Yes.
I gave him a B+. Y'all said a lot of good things. I'm going to talk about Dame a little bit more because I feel like he's kind of evolutionized his game a little bit. Not even. It's just like he's getting obviously up there in age. He doesn't get to the rim as much. And this year I feel like he's heavily incorporated like that little 10 to 15-foot pull-up mid-range jumper. And honestly, it's been working for him. And he's honestly, we know he can shoot the 3. But he's just been super effective even without getting to the rim. And it's just like that's still Dame being Dame.
I gave it a C. If every game was the NBA Cup game, they would be so much better. But the fact that they're still struggling to like compete with that upper echelon when they do have these 2 superstars, it's still a bit scary. I agree with you though, P. Nobody would want to see this team in a 7-game series. But if I'm just looking at what they've done so far this year, the NBA Cup championship is phenomenal. But when you back that up with losing a bunch of games and then people wiping the floor with you, it's a good team, not a great team. And I don't think that was what their expectations were. So I'm giving it a C.
Nah, I feel you. Super inconsistent. Like a lot of these teams. Like my Knicks do that. Like the Knicks look great.
Knicks be blowing out a team, then the next time you turn it on, it's just they down now. They down 10-15 the next game.
The Bulls. We can fly through this one.
Yeah.
We
have been kind of taking some time on some of these
KB, the floor is yours. When we get to some of these teams, like Lakers, we kind of already did. You were just great, Mike, and we're just going. We all 4 don't need opinions on the Bulls.
D. Because what the hell is going on is really the question.
All right, you just traded Zach LaVine. Now what does it do?
D. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, our pick is top 10 protected. Right now, if we ran Tankathon, we're sitting at number 9. So that's cool. The likelihood of losing it when you have number 9 is pretty low. So that's fun. But, like, we don't do all of this for us to get the 9th overall pick or the 7th overall pick every single season. It's a frustrating watch. And if we literally just talking about the basketball, I'm excited that it is a high-tempo team. I'm excited they're taking 3-pointers because we've never had a really good 3-point shooting team here in Chicago. But it's hard to watch because you just don't know who to be invested in. Like, even the players that we love. Kobe White's one of my favorite players in the league right now. I can't say that I'm super excited to watch him because I'm thinking about in the back of my mind, well, he got 2 years left of his contract. It maybe makes sense to move him now versus moving him next year where he'll have less value or paying him $35 million in 2 years. So I'm like, who are we really invested in? Patrick Williams fucking sucks. Miles Buzelis is getting 12 minutes per game. Josh Giddey could give you moments. Like every third game, Josh Giddey looks phenomenal. But even then, it's like now we got to figure out what we're paying Josh Giddey. There's too many question marks on this team. Shout out to Zach LaVine for being so damn good and being a professional. Shout out to Vucevic for being okay with being the butt of a joke and knowing that he might get traded. But it's not a fun watch at all.
Damn, I feel bad for you now.
You shouldn't.
Because my team be killing. We paying 35 to OG Anunobies. You know what I'm saying?
But it makes sense when you good.
We ain't paying 35 to Josh Giddey's. We'll pay him 16.
Let's hope he gets like 22. That would be my guess.
He getting
22?
22. Because what's his market? Like, who is he going?
That's what I'm saying. We paying.
It's like, will Brooklyn spend some of that money on him?
They bet not.
I'd be super pissed at Brooklyn for doing that.
Sean Marks is 2. Yeah, he's 2.
So we might have
Who
the
makes
upper hand on that.
22 right now?
Do you
Did we
bring
just
that
say
up in the
Bruce
meeting?
Brown? We said
Bruce
Bruce
Brown
Brown
makes
makes 21.
23, yeah.
Do you bring it up the meeting if he's like, man, I want this much? And he's like, bro, you don't want to be playing sometimes in the competitive games in the fourth. Like,
Yeah.
you don't close it out.
You don't close out a lot of games.
If you close them games out, you might get this little extra change right here, but you can't even
Mike,
close it
there's been
out.
games where he said 16, 9, and 8 and didn't play the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
The game
if you watch
against the
the game,
Spurs.
if you watch the game, you can understand why. Like, I mean, on one side of the ball, on defense, he's a liability. He's
Yes.
a liability. On the other
I'ma
side,
name
the
some
teams are
names.
gonna dare him to shoot.
I'm going to name some names real
Yeah.
quick. I want y'all to tell me, just say more or less of who you value more,
Okay.
Giddey or this player.
Got it.
And I'm going to tell you, after y'all say what y'all say, I'm going to tell you how much this player makes. Julius Randle. You thought this was going to be easy, huh? Thought this was going to
No,
be
this
simple.
is easy.
Nah.
Okay.
I value Julius.
I value
Randle.
Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a mid-off, but yeah.
Julius Randle makes 33 as of right now. Player option for 30. Emmanuel Quickly.
How many games we've had of Emmanuel Quickly?
Not a
haven't
lot
even
this year.
gauged Emmanuel quickly.
I'm
this
gonna
year,
say I
crazy.
value Emmanuel Quickly. I pray that Josh Giddey don't get Emmanuel Quickly contract. His contract is crazy. It's like 5 years, $33 million a year.
Yeah, he's making 32 right now.
It's crazy, bro. So I still do value Emmanuel Quickly more as an NBA player, I would say.
Played 9 games this year. 16
Welcome back,
and 6. Hey, you get your bag and you sit on your ass. But no, I take that back because he really fell on his ass.
Yeah,
after
he had a
the season.
booty injury.
But yeah, I would take Quickly.
Chris Middleton.
Do I
Chris
dare
Middleton.
say in 2025 I value Josh Giddey
It's
more?
Josh
Nah,
Giddey. The
I
Bucks
would take
value
Chris
Chris Middleton.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
The Bucks value him.
Hell yeah. They would
But
not.
What
if
about
it was
the
a-
market, though?
I think in a trade, like the market type of skill, it's Josh Giddey.
in the market, I think it's more Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Mostly because he
He can
doesn't
fit on other teams.
He can fit on many teams.
Oh.
I would give Josh Giddey some credit. He hasn't had the ball nearly as much as I thought he would because we have so many guards, and he's been able to adjust offensively pretty well. So it's not like
Had
give him
him
the
do
ball.
this.
Yeah, get him the ball and let him rock out like he's Trae Young. That's not his archetype. And people leave him open, and he's shooting it to start the season. Like, we're halfway through the year. I can't even say to start the season. So he's shooting it
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole's
DeJounte-
having a good season.
29 million for him. DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte.
Yeah, in the vacuum, DeJounte. DeJounte's hasn't been good this year at all.
That
No,
whole
but-
team is just
It
excuses.
started off really bad with the injury.
Yeah,
that
hey,
really
that whole
First
started.
game of the
team.
year, he was phenomenal. Then he broke his
He
hand.
broke his hand.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges.
Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges makes $27
They having
million.
a handcuff off.
$27 million. That's why you ain't peep my joke. You
What'd
said how much you gonna make. I said I give him 16.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That went right over y'all head.
That's crazy.
I wasn't gonna drive it home. John Collins.
John Collins.
Josh Giddey.
Mike, tiebreaker.
I would probably go Josh Giddey.
He makes 26 and a half.
He's getting around the market we think should be for. I would say something around 20.
Terry Rozier.
Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey.
That's 24 right
Terry
now.
Rozier sucks,
Bro,
man.
what about last year, Terry?
Oh, last
Hornets
year,
Terry.
Yeah,
Hornets Terry is
Terry
different.
specifically.
And you know
Yeah.
what's crazy for Heat fans? Terry Rozier is going to go somewhere else and go back to the Hornets version of Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma.
Kuzma.
In theory, Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, I'm gonna just go.
Kuzma is such a better player when he's not your first to second damn person.
Yeah.
I tried to watch him the other night. He took 7 shots of the first 12. I can't get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here. I'll watch highlights of Bilal or highlights of Bub
Bilal-
Carrington, but
Bilal
I
get
can't
it
watch
in.
a live game of the Wizards anymore, man. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, based off some of these answers we just had, but then you go down and you go further, and it's like Colin Sexton. You're going to take Colin
Colin
Sexton.
Sexton.
He only makes 18. So there is a world where if the Bulls can really negotiate, they can get a valuable deal. But then there's the world where if Josh Giddey's people can push you hard
I
enough
don't know,
and
man.
the market says something, you can get $26 million a year.
Last year, they didn't even let Patrick Williams go into the market. They just gave him $90 million without seeing what the market was for him.
So how much does Patrick Williams make a year?
Wasn't it 5 years, $90 million?
That sounds about right.
So what would that math be, Derek? Because
That's
as I'm
about like 22.
as I'm
Yeah.
does the deal
22.
not kick in yet?
I'm
I'm
Maybe a
looking
little
at
bit
all
less
of the
than
top
It
salaries.
might start next year,
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
crazy.
No. He makes 18 per.
Okay.
Okay.
18.
It's 18. So when you break it down to the per, it don't sound as bad.
When you watch him play, it does. He's been averaging 5 points per game since 2025.
This conversation is interesting. What is going to happen to Josh Giddey? Because the Bulls are like, one thing about the Bulls can do stupid shit, but like paying him 18 and seeing him play this way, they're going to be very they're not finna just pay him 18, Giddey 25, then Kobe White coming out. They're not about to do that. They're not that dumb. They dumb, but they a fool, but they ain't a damn fool.
I don't know, bro. Because what you just laid out there sounds like a team that can be 3 games under 500, and that's what they want to do every year.
Yeah.
I don't think this team could be under 500, man. They have Zach and Vooch right now, and are a couple games over 500.
Right.
You eliminate them, this team is in the bottom pits of the Eastern Conference. If I'm just being honest,
That's what we've been hoping for forever, man.
so they're gonna do that when it's too late. Do y'all own y'all pick after this?
I don't know exactly how to protect. You know, sometimes protections roll over to now, instead of it being top 10 protected, it's top 8 protected. It turns to 2 seconds. I'm not completely sure what the protection.
This is the pick that goes to San Antonio, or the pick that goes? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next team,
Let's just keep the pick, baby.
Boston Celtics.
A.
Yeah, I gave them an A. I think people overreact to the season that they having, and I think they're still very good. It's A. Just because they aren't the team that's just dominating the East, they're still really good. The Cavs are just having just an extraordinary good season.
Mm-hmm. I give them an A too. When it comes down to it, don't nobody want to guard that 5. They got a legit 5-out offense.
Cavs. Let's keep the pace going.
A
A++.
plus.
That
I
might
gave 'em
actually
2
get an A++.
pluses. Yeah, that's I gave. They did.
They having
extra
so many
credit.
people having like amazing years and like
Is that not scary to y'all?
what?
That everybody's having a career shooting year?
No,
So
like
you saying-
everybody.
I wouldn't
So
say
you saying they
but
might
this-
hit shooters regression at a certain
At some point.
but
I
this is
still
what I'm
think they
saying.
do.
They're
though.
still built to be better without it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They
Because
can
they
always
killing. They
yeah.
killing.
Yeah.
and they can always resort to just dominating them.
Some of his fall back. They only winning by 4 instead of 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Donovan and Darius Garland have a well polished offensive game to where they don't have to shoot threes. They can both get to the mid range. They can get to the basket. Evan Mobley's great at finishing at the rim. He's hitting the corner. Jared Allen's a lot. Like they have a lot of different options that they can go through with their offense other than just.
Bro,
shooting
I
threes.
love how whoever doesn't get the rebound as a big, I'm running this floor. I'm running this,
Ain't that common sense?
bro. Yeah, but it's just like.
It ain't common though.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do it. Or a lot of people don't really have like 2 bigs to really be able to do that. But it's just like Evan Mobley got that. Jared Allen is gone, and he's posting up whoever
Sealing.
is back.
Yeah, I'm sealing you.
And I'm probably 9 times out of 10 they throwing that ball right over it too.
Shout out
And
to
what
Kenny
he
Atkinson.
gonna have on his feet?
I have no
KB.
What?
When Jared Allen sprints down
All
and
them LeBron?
seals, no.
Oh,
that's
he
why I
a
asked
He a
KB.
Kyrie guy.
Them Kyrie.
He
Oh,
got
you
some
at
Kyrie,
Kyrie's?
bro.
I thought I saw
Kyrie's.
For
LeBron.
10 years
Been wearing them
straight.
since Brooklyn. Me and
The
KB was
same
watching
ones?
something.
Same one. Well, same
get-
model.
Same model.
Same model.
Gotta be some of the same ones though, because you know Nike ain't producing those no more
True.
unless he bought and monopolized the damn size 15, 16 of
I wonder
Kyrie's.
how many more cases there is like that we ain't noticed. Because we noticed Kobe White. Kobe White has one
Same-
shoe, one colorway.
That's what it was. So me and KB, we went to you was there. We went to the Bulls game. He had those LeBrons
Yeah.
on that he was wearing all last year.
Mm-hmm.
So then we started talking about Jared Allen, who we saw wear them same as Kyrie. I kid you not.
Colin
Mike.
Sexton also wears those Kyries.
To the day he
To
said
this
he dropped
day.
60 in them. He
Yes.
dropped 50 in them and he
On
never looked
Kyrie
back.
and still wears them to this
He
day.
did on Kyrie when he was still in Cleveland. And so we were just thinking about guys who you always see kind of wear the same shoes.
And of course, not the signature athlete.
Yeah.
Of course,
Right.
Tatum's wearing Tatum. You know what I'm saying?
But then you got guys like DeMar DeRozan who always got a new pair of Kobe's.
Yeah.
Just looking clean.
Usually, Josh Giddey's a Kobe guy. He had some Antas on yesterday or last game.
What?
I think he's trying to get himself a little baggy bag.
What?
Hey, I'm a free agent. Some Antas. They were the Kyries too, the new Kyries.
I've never seen him in anything but a Kobe.
I'm telling you, bro. He had them on. They were the pink ones, the pink colorway.
Pacers.
I gave him a B+.
Okay.
I think they've done a great job of turning it around. They looked really bad to start the season, and as of late, they've started to really look like a version of the Pacers that we saw last year.
Yeah, I'm closer to a B. I'm trying not to get locked into like just the last 2 week stretch type thing. You know what I mean? But it has been great. Like the defensive rating over the last month is like top 5 in basketball, which is good, and that's
They
different
beat
than
the
last
Celtics
year.
within the
Won
stretch
the
as well.
Celtics game, so I'm gonna give it a.
Beat the Cavs.
Oh yeah, and the end of the
They
Cavs
beat the
streak.
Cavs,
Yeah.
too.
Oh yes, they
Yes, they
did.
did.
So
Without
I'm B
Tyrese
closer to
Halliburton in
B+.
the second half.
No, yeah,
Yep.
they've had some very impressive wins during the stretch. When
Yes,
you
they
beat the
do.
2 top teams out east, That's very impressive.
That make you think that you can do it again.
I gave him a B.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Not mad at that.
Pistons, one of
yeah.
my
This
favorites.
might
man.
be-
plus.
Yeah,
This might be an A-.
They've
for
exceeded
me, bro.
expectations.
And
That's
they
all
started
that
off.
matters,
Y'all remember
yeah.
they started off 0-4.
Yeah.
When we was like, oh, here it go again.
But they were like, when we were just talking about like the Philly catching up to some of these teams, I'm like, Detroit probably gonna stay in that mix.
Yes.
And I don't think they're gonna be falling.
Even
out
without Jaden Ivey, they
Uh-huh.
are a strong team, man. They compete. They play hard. Trust me, I just seen it last night.
I wish I could
we
watch
was
that
watching
game.
it in the Discord last night.
They move the ball. Cade Cunningham is
The real
solidified.
deal.
I hate the fact that I had to beat that over a horse's head when they was doubting Cade Cunningham. Who else they doubting right now? Who y'all see being doubted? I'll let you know if they for real or not.
Scoop.
Nah. Nah.
Scoop's getting a lot of doubt right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he could be a good player, but he's no Cade Cunningham and none of the all-star shit.
You remember the Wembanyama quote
What?
about Scoot Henderson before the draft?
He would be the first overall pick if I
Yeah,
wasn't
he's a
here.
great player. He would be the first overall pick if I didn't exist. That shit is crazy to say. And I mean,
He
yeah.
lied. It would have been Brandon Miller.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
You think it still would have been Brandon?
I think that was after
Hell
that
yeah.
when they had that game or whatever, and they both was going crazy.
Yes. Yes. The G League
That
Ignite
was
versus
that was Scoot Henderson's best game I ever
92.
seen. He happened at the right time.
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I looked at him so different.
Bro,
And
yeah,
only
if
the
you
first game,
only
the second
watch
game, because they play back to back. That first game, both of them, I was like, damn, the league in a good hands. Scoot Henderson was getting to the basket, trying
He
to
hit
finish over
pull-ups,
everything. He
he
doing
threes.
everything.
I'm pretty sure he hit a three like right over Vic too. I'm like, damn.
Oh, what a game. I think I got a tweet that went viral that said something like, you know that Squidward future, and it's like the stat line of those two players.
Oh, yeah.
And only one of them is really the future, I guess.
Well, he might be good enough for both of them.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
I was never a big Scoot guy, but I remember watching that game like, damn, I got to reevaluate this dude. Like, man,
he
I was
look
wrong.
different.
He's got the name. He don't got the swagger, bro. His name is Scoot. He should be good at basketball. He's
He
off.
ain't the original Scoot, though. Kevin Porter Jr. used to call himself that first. But it's Scoot. Scoot ain't his damn
No,
real
for
name.
sure. But it's enough of his name to be his name.
What y'all think his real name is? What could you get Scoot from?
It's got to be like Edward.
You think it's basic like
It's
that?
got to be something like just generic. No disrespect to the Edwards of the world.
Oh, I see what it is.
I do too. It's somebody who played in our conference in high school who went to the NBA.
He had a brother.
Sterling?
Yep.
Sterling
Oh.
is his name.
Oh, okay. That fits. He's a great actor too, though. Shout out to Scoot Henderson, man. He got a future in that as well. He
But
played-
Pistons.
Wow. Oh, Pistons is A+.
Yeah, we gave it
It's really all about the expectation going into the season. Can they be better? Like, I didn't think that they were going to be this good. Like, I think their number was like 21.5 was their over-under. And I think I took the over, but I was like, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be that last playing team. I went with Charlotte for whatever the fuck reason because I just didn't see a world where the team could go from 28 straight losses to good. They did.
They changed
wanna give a-
coaches and
yeah.
brought some actual NBA players in.
Yeah,
That's
I was about to say,
really the
big
recipe.
shout out to the front office.
Mm-hmm.
They went out and got Cade Cunningham all the right pieces. Malik Beasley has been phenomenal.
Hey.
Tim Hardaway Jr. has been phenomenal.
And Monty
Tobias
Monty
Harris has been
Williams,
good.
It was
JB's kinda crazy,
It was a
too.
game maybe like 2-3 games ago for the Pistons. Malik Beasley was like 0 for 9, but he hit the biggest shot of the game.
Oh,
And
last night he hit 2 big threes.
Bro.
And he was talking.
Yes.
hey, if
talking,
Malik
bro.
Beasley dancing, you in trouble.
I love that.
Oh, you mad about those 2 threes?
I wish I could have saw the game though.
It was actually funny because on the
It was a
last
great
one,
game.
they blitzed Cade, and then
You know he's the most blitzed player outside of Luka Doncic. Well, maybe
He
he
is?
is number one now because Luka Doncic ain't played.
I
in-
wasn't mad when they blitzed him. Did exactly what you wanted him to do. Got the ball out of his hands.
I wonder if that'll ever change.
What?
Like, will teams stop blitzing him?
like they did with Luka.
No, they still blitz
Oh,
Luka
well, yeah.
because in their
Well,
mind,
no, I'm thinking of LeBron. LeBron said that he doesn't get blitzed.
because you can't. He's just
Yeah.
too good, too smart, and everything. But like they were blitzing K last year because who is he gonna pass it to? These
Yeah.
guys suck, and that's the way to get the ball out of the best player's hands. They blitz Luka Doncic because they feel more comfortable playing 3-on-4 defensively because Luka is that good. But because Cade is such a plus passer, and then he's got shooters now, blitzing just don't even really make sense. He still does turn the ball over quite a bit in that aspect, but like if he ever shuts that down just a little bit, you don't blitz Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
hindsight makes me say I wish we didn't, right? Because we lost because of it. But if I take the hindsight out, I was okay with it because I am living with the streakiness of Tim Hardaway Jr.
Right.
and Malik
Let
Beasley
them beat us.
beating us. Now, what I will say is you got to be on a string a little bit more. We had the proper rotation. Karl Anthony Towns just realized it just a split 2-second late, and it allowed Malik Beasley to have a wide open 3 versus an open 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay with it in that aspect, but if you are going to do it, you have to be a little bit more on point. But yeah, shout out to the Detroit Pistons. Shout out to Cade Cunningham. So happy to see him finally get the respect and love. And it is exactly why we have to chill on how we assess guys early in their NBA careers when we see that they're on a bad team. And then shout out to these vets, man. Like real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Beasley deserved to get some credit and some love. He's on what, his 4th or 15 in 4 or 5 years. Tim Hardaway Jr. Traded
Isn't he
from
only like 26 still?
Who?
Every time I look at Malik Beasley age, I'm
Yeah,
like,
he
how
young
is
as
he
hell.
still this young?
But yeah, man. Shout out to Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris. Everybody was on Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris's
Isaiah
contract.
Stewart.
Isaiah Stewart having one of his
Beef
best years.
Stew just keep doing the damn thing. I really like that team. And shout out to JB Bickerstaff, obviously, because he's doing his thing. But yeah, man, they really making it happen. Asar Thompson as well, Ron
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Marcus Sasser.
It's cool to have those 2 energy defensive guys. Those
It
2
is.
young dudes. They just
Yes.
come in, they wreck havoc.
They
It ain't the
using them a
same
lot
as the
better than
Terror
I
Twins
thought.
out there in Houston, but like it's still pretty damn good.
My Knicks.
Got to give them an A. I
I
would
gave
say.
them an A as well. It's hard to give the top seeds a bad grade because they're literally doing what they supposed to do.
Right.
The Nets.
For me, I actually gave Brooklyn an A too. I think they're doing a good job of mortgaging their assets.
I'm giving they ass a D.
I gave
They
them a
supposed to be like the
C-.
Bulls, man. They supposed to be losing.
Yeah.
They had Dennis
I
Schroeder
I just
for
think they
too
waited
long.
too long. Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
they
only
just
thing.
got off to a slightly hotter start than they wanted.
They played somebody the other night while I tuned into their game.
The
and
Jazz.
But I'm watching the game, and I'm like, who the fuck is that hooping right now?
You know what's crazy? I was trying to watch that game, and I kept trying to watch it,
Anyone working?
and my league pass just kept glitching out. And I'm
Mine
like,
did
Pass,
that the
get
first.
that.
Mine did that the first.
You know who
time
they
for
played
that
tonight,
same
right?
game, and I refreshed it, and it
They
worked.
play the Blazers. You tuning in?
No.
Hey, since Darrick came on this podcast, said the Blazers be showing up. The Blazers be showing up. Because when he said that, I'm like, man, stop talking to me. But they be showing up.
No, I'm trying to figure out. No, it wasn't even that game against the Jazz. It was the game before that. Who was they play, bro? Because it was somebody on that court, and I like had to Google, bro.
He said they just let anybody in the league these days.
hey, it wasn't a bunch of nobodies. Like,
Damn, dude, I cannot.
When
Find
Walt Frazier said
Walt
that.
Frazier-
Said that about
Did you- were you
he
listening
said
to
about the Thunder.
yeah,
Mike told
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry. It was that game, but it was the Jazz. The Jazz played a dude named Elijah Hawk.
Oh yeah, I seen
Harkless.
him, Elijah Harkless. Yeah,
I'm like, who? Like, I looked at him
Don't ask me.
and I squinted.
but
Should I know
but
who this
KB,
man is?
I had checked the like his little background on what he was doing before this. He's a workhorse though.
Hey,
like he grinded that
I
motherfucker.
saw
spot.
his stats in the G. He was averaging like 13 points on like 53% shooting from 3 on good attempts. And I'm like, all right, let's see. He got in the
Elijah
game.
Harkless.
He played a couple minutes. I swear to you, I watched him foul 5 times in like 4 minutes, bro. So first, welcome to the league moments.
Hey,
Trying
he
to
was
stay in
playing
front of
hard.
some dudes. Yeah, no. Hey, good luck.
Hey, just 2 teams
I'm glad
playing
you brought
hard,
that
my
up.
man. Every Knicks starter in the NBA's top 10 in total minutes played this season.
oh yeah.
That's crazy, but not
I just don't know.
unexpected.
I always look at how sustainable is that.
I guess we'll find out.
But you
in a
remember
couple
when
months.
Jalen Brunson's like, man, I hate when people say that we look tired. Like all the minutes, that shit don't mean nothing. Like we be good.
No,
I think you would say that too if you
I
were
hate
playing.
it. I hate it too.
Yeah.
I hate that that's always a driving force. The only thing I say about Tibbs is like it's not that they play a lot of minutes.
They play unnecessary minutes.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
We're up by 22
Yeah.
with Kel Bridges checking the game.
Why?
Hold
We're
on,
beating
bro.
the hell out of the Hornets, and you still got these guys in.
Yeah,
You played
nah,
39
But
minutes or
if
something.
they're gonna play 39 minutes a year, that's fine.
a game,
But I mean, yeah, again, that's fine. But it's like when we getting our ass kicked by OKC, just throw in a towel.
Yeah.
We got bigger picture. Picture.
every game is the Super Bowl for
But
him.
we saw it with Derrick Rose when they was
Right.
up 20 against Philly,
Learn your lesson.
Hey, bro,
and
don't bring that up.
Learn your lesson. A matter of fact, we should whip your ass for that. Because now I just got a picture of Derrick Rose on the ground, white jersey,
oh my god,
holding his knee.
I don't want to think about that either.
But you did.
But you just brought it up.
Shout out to. I don't even know if I want to take this out of the plastic.
Never take it out the
I
plastic.
think I'm going to, but I'm gonna get like a case for it.
You bogus as hell.
I bought like 4 of them though. I just
That's
brought
so
one to the
dope.
studio
That back.
so we can have.
I need that back.
Right? Is they still available? Like it's an ad. You can go get.
I
you
need
one
that as a
too.
poster though.
I want to just see what's inside. Special collector's edition.
Oh, you bought 4 of them, but you
I bought
haven't
4
opened any
I
of
haven't
them?
opened any of them.
The
yet.
next episode.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna open this one just for the
You
for
know
the
who
viewers
I
at
did
home.
that for, bro? And why I'm gonna never do that again?
What?
They had this hype for this high school basketball player, right? He was super hyped up. So I seen him on a cover of a Slam magazine. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna just leave it in the wrapper because they hyping this kid up. I don't know if I agree, but just in case, who do y'all think the player was?
Is he in the league?
He's in the league.
Oh.
He's young. He don't. You probably don't know who the hell he is at all because he don't play, but he's in the league.
Dude, this is incredible, by the way. Currently still young.
Yeah,
High school top.
he was a phenom. Don't think back that far. He just got in the league a few years ago. He was a phenom, had a lot going on to get into the NBA, went to one school, transferred in college, and had to do this and that. 6'9", thin. Imani Bates.
Oh,
I have an Imani Bates Slam magazine that's in the plastic right now.
He
Keep
do
it in.
too.
You never know. You never
never
know.
know.
You never.
Shout out to
know.
Imani Bates, man. Shout out to Imani Bates.
No, this is incredible, by the way. This is one of those. When Kobe passed away, I put together my own custom like Kobe frame poster where I took his book and just picked my favorite pictures. This is the type of shit you would do here. It's got pictures of every era, everything.
Yeah, I just seen my favorite Derrick Rose, which was the Memphis Tiger one.
Here are the sneakers that I went to school, like freshman year of high school. I hooped in these.
What Kobe book is it?
The
The
one
Mama
that's up there.
Mentality?
The one, oh, it failed. But the one that's up there.
You remember the one you gave me, P?
The Mama Mentality.
Wait, that's what you just said for the one he had?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Because I
The
got
one
that
with
in my
Kobe's face on it, right? It's
yeah,
like black.
I got that
Yeah.
in my room, like in my little display case. Like
Yeah.
it just got showed up, and it's crazy because I was watching. I think it was Shams in the clip, and he had the same book just
Did he?
posted up.
Okay, yeah. I got one in my background. I got 2 of them. But I
that
got
book
one in my
hard, though.
background.
Like the cover is really good.
These little books, they're just like little, like, almost look like kids' books. They're not kids' books, but they're little. And they got one for Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan. And I got those in my background too. Those books are fire. Moving on to the next team. So we did the Knicks, we did the Nets, Wizards. Some of these last few teams in the East, we can probably fly through.
I gave him an A-.
I gave him a C+.
I'll give them a B+. I like what the Wizards are doing. The Wizards are one of my teams that I have on a short list that I really want to see get that first overall pick because though I look at Cooper Flag differently than a lot of people, I still think he's a great prospect, and I think he's the first overall pick. And just the defensive upside
Him,
that team would
Bilal,
have,
and Alex Sarr.
that would be
That
crazy.
would actually be insane.
That would be
That
an
would-
insane.
yeah.
Like they would have to figure out or develop him or somebody else to be the go-to guy. But the upside on that team would be disgusting. So
This grade can go higher if they find a market for Kuzma. Get him
I
out
was
of there.
Get him out of here ASAP.
Isn't it so crazy
because
that
they
it's
ain't
like-
traded Kuzma?
Yeah.
You crazy,
Yeah, you
dude.
crazy.
Isn't it so crazy that it's like usually when they be having like the talent that you want to trade away, you be winning games. They still be losing hella games.
Yeah.
Valanciunas and Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, them ain't winning shit.
Yeah, only reason I gave him such a good grade is because they know what their goal is and they're achieving that goal. It does suck to like not be in games. Like I feel like you're cutting your young players a little bit short by not giving them reps and like these high intensity type moments. But maybe this is the last year of that. You win the lottery, you get a top 3 pick, man. You could potentially, again, I don't know how the future is going to look for Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, but you could potentially get a guy that elevates your timeline or makes things just a little bit better. So I'm giving them I'm giving most of these really bad teams a good grade because they're bad for a reason.
My next team
was
is a team I
same
talked
thing,
about
too.
earlier, who I said is probably having one of my favorite tank jobs in a long time. This is another team where if Toronto somehow got the top overall pick, I would not be mad at Cooper Flag going his ass to Canada with Scotty, RJ. Oh, man, don't even get me started. But the Toronto Raptors.
I gave it a B just because I feel like they do come out and compete still. Like they are losing games, but they are like trying to win games at the same time. They just end up losing.
It's weird to see a tanking team have so many like max to near max contracts.
They do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
They do.
RJ, well, the Knicks gave RJ that contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
And it's not a max, but it's a lot of money for RJ. And then they did give Scotty Barnes his max, and they
Quickly.
did
They
give
give
quickly a max. It's like, we still gonna lose 66 games, and I gave it an A- as well. Just
Well,
because
also at the beginning, they were just also really hurt. So like
sure.
they just got behind the 8 ball, and I guess they
I wonder
decided-
how many minutes their best three play. I was gonna say big three. They're not big three.
So they
Best
probably
three
just
players.
said, we so far behind, we might as well just keep.
No, they told the fans beforehand.
Yeah, you don't remember Masai Ujiri?
You remember Jakob Pertl saying
Oh,
that?
yeah,
we-
he
yeah,
said we're
yeah.
not trying to
Jakob
win.
did.
So that's actually hilarious.
That man said that at
I'm
the
surprised
opening
Jakob
interview.
hasn't
Yes.
been like
Before
team-
injuries
We haven't
happened,
seen
he
more
told us
teams
that.
interested in Jakob.
Yeah,
because he's
same.
good. He's a good player.
He's a
for
really
sure.
good player.
Yeah, I like Jakob a lot.
RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and Scotty Barnes have played a total of only 88 minutes together.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, that's because
2 games.
that's because Quentin
yeah, you know, he only played 9 games, right? But
6
still,
games.
six games.
Oh no, I think it is 9. I'm sorry.
And then
I almost
Scotty,
called him. What I almost called him?
Scotty
Quentin.
also broke his face
Quentin,
earlier.
Emmanuel Quentin.
Emmanuel Quickley.
I was thinking of Quentin Miller. I
give
got a
it an A.
studio session with him. He gonna write my song for me.
I heard you listen to that Deja Vu when you walked in, or pulled up to the office today.
Huh?
You want to listen to Deja Vu, or was that the car next to you?
Yeah, it was a car next to me.
Okay, I was about to say.
I literally drove in silence.
They like Olivia Rodrigo.
psychopath shit. Huh?
By Olivia Rodrigo.
No, by Queen Bee.
Beyonce.
Oh,
Well, I thought you were jamming instead of the person next to you. Okay.
Nah, I drove
Because it was
in silence.
loud. Like I heard it in my car where I also was listening.
that
to
D
something.
Mills loud.
Yes.
You remember when D Mills pulled up? He had
Golf
some-
course to the was it 2 Chainz? It was
Yes.
the 2 Chainz.
No,
If I ain't
All
never-
day
I'm a
the
ball.
ball.
I'm
Count
all day like the
clock
on the wall. I'm talking
He
about
tried to tee off in 4 minutes singing that.
11:30.
song.
All the older white guys like stretching, doing whatever they doing with the clubs. They're coming like.
Y'all gotta watch the TGL, man. Tonight, TGL 6 o'clock.
There goes the
I
neighborhood.
heard you and T-Row talking about.
It's a really fun league, man. I don't know if it'll stick.
It was
but
so
it's fun.
crazy.
What does it stand for?
Tiger Woods, Greg Popovich, and Lionel Messi.
You know what's so crazy? He was talking about. He was like, man, him and Terrence. He's like, man, I finally get to see that boy play. And one of them, the other one's like, yeah, we get to see that boy. And I'm like, I
black
don't know
guy?
who the hell y'all talking about.
Is it
Y'all
the
just keep
black
saying
guy?
boy.
If I'm talking golf and I say that boy, I mean that. I'm talking about Tiger, bro.
Oh.
Y'all didn't even say that
Oh.
boy. Y'all said like that guy, like
guy.
that brother, that brother.
Oh well, yeah.
And
But
somebody
now if we say
saying-
brother, you know it's Tiger.
Okay, no.
Yeah, because Terrence like, you talking about the black guy? I thought y'all meant some unknown.
No.
I didn't know who the hell they was
No, they
talking
got
about.
the best players close to the like cream of the crop in this league. Because Bryson DeChambeau, he wants to be a YouTuber.
Would y'all ever go to a golf event?
100%. I got
No.
invited to one
What
of the
type
golf
of
events
silly ass question is
last
that?
year. Y'all remember that?
What?
When they did the one in Bolingbrook.
They invited you?
Liv invited me. I'm like, I'm
Oh.
okay.
Oh, you should have gone.
I'm okay.
Why didn't you?
I don't remember why. I gave a fake reason.
Yeah, y'all petty. I'm thinking it's some new golfer.
Oh no, that boy Tiger.
That boy.
The Jupiter, man. Tune in to Jupiter, man.
The Miami Heat.
I
Now you
think
can
with-
talk about Jimmy Butler missing a plane and doing it.
Hey, Jimmy Butler's just been on some nut shit, man. And you know, I had been team Jimmy Butler, but some of this stuff is just like it's hard to make
Yeah.
me team Jimmy Butler.
It
in
makes
this one.
sense though, because I was wondering why Tyler Hero was saying certain things in his interviews, but that's why.
There have been multiple instances of him skipping out on morning shoot-arounds altogether and insisting on private flights separate from the Miami's charter. Even his former teammate Kyle Lowry grew tired of his headstrong tendencies. And the fact that Kyle Lowry's in this means that this has been happening for some time because Kyle Lowry's not there anymore. So I saw somebody tweet like, now I understand why Jimmy wants that max contract. He's spending so much money on his own private jet
Right.
instead of the other private jet.
Yeah.
But it's like he always gives you some type of theatrics. And shout out to, literally
Heat
just
star
a new
Jimmy
report.
Butler tells Pat Riley in face-to-face meeting that he wants to be traded and will not sign a new deal in Miami.
Okay, that's not real.
Shams.
Shams did tweet that just now as we were talking about it. But it's just a lot, Jimmy. Again, I know that you want to get out of there.
But it seems unlikely.
It seemed like he.
What
be
about
doing
Earth?
Whatever it takes.
Another private jet is crazy.
Insane.
Yeah,
Have
'cause
y'all ever
what-
looked at prices for private jets?
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
I'm not even thinking about the price. He's
When-
an
when I
NBA
see-
player
yeah.
with millions and millions and millions of dollars. He can afford this.
I heard Meek Mill
you
say
not
that it
getting on
ain't
the
even the
plane
jet,
with your damn
it's the
team?
fuel.
Yeah.
You're paying so much money for the fuel itself.
How you gonna? I don't know, man.
I
just
feel you
couldn't
though,
imagine paying
How you gonna
100K
not like?
for a
And I
flight.
feel like it's a consensus. And Jimmy is a very like headstrong person. He honestly don't care what people think. But it's like with the already like label that you kind of a locker room problem, and like you can have the tendency to do that type of stuff. You're not helping your cause, man, of trying to, like, teams wanting you and actually valuing what you're going to bring.
No words for your guy?
No. It's hard to I don't have
They
anything to
best,
say.
brightest spot.
You finna say hard
Tyler
to defend
Hero.
him?
Yeah.
Then don't defend him.
I'm not.
Get on his ass.
For me, it's just kind of just when you starting to do things that rub the team the wrong way, I think that's where it just becomes a problem. I thought throughout all this that he was being cool with the teammates and everything was cordial. The fact that he's not even want to fly with them is crazy.
That's really crazy because I always try to put it on like layman's terms. Like we weren't necessarily happy with our last employer. Can you imagine at a protest to them, one of us did some shit like that?
Yeah.
Hey,
Like
man,
at the end of the day, like him.
I ain't staying in the same hotel as the broadcast boys.
Like, can you just imagine that happening? And like him, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo, they've been teammates for what?
They was cool.
5 years,
Yeah.
6 years.
Bro,
now?
it was just, you remember, like, it wasn't too long ago where Jimmy Butler was uploading posts to Tyler Hero and Bam, like, man, we my dogs, man.
Yeah.
Like, we go through war together. And it's, again, a couple years later, and it's just now you can't
And it's so
even
crazy.
ride the planes
'Cause
with them.
The timeline is ridiculous though, of him talking shit to the Celtics and making Tyler Hero go out there who by himself, and he wasn't even really fucking with them like that. It was
Yeah.
just all for show, I guess. Like that feel like he was really going against Miami. I'm gonna get these Celtics boys riled up. Fuck Pat Riley.
Talking about them boys would lose if I was out there. The number one
It
damn
really
seed.
does make a lot of sense now. Because why would you? Who talks like that? A regular like Jimmy Butler in his regular state, he's not saying no shit like that. He's been hurt before.
Cause that's you're not even hyping up your boys like, man,
Yeah.
my boys got to change. That's when Pat Riley literally came out. He's like, bro,
We'll
if you're
be
not hooping,
winning
shut your
if
mouth.
I was
Yeah.
out there is the most pro-am 2K just saying anything type
Saying
shit.
anything.
Like anything. Golly, Jimmy.
That's crazy. Pat Riley really said that, and that really ruined everything.
It might have been already done before.
Yes,
then,
that's
honestly.
the point we're making. Jimmy,
Well, I think that was like the last
That
straw.
tipping point?
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
get the Jimmy Butler look at the camera moment, so from just last week. You want to be nice to your employees.
You want to build your guys. You want to build your star up, not tear them down.
Yeah.
that definitely was the last straw. Just based on how first of all, Pat Riley came out and had like a little press conference, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Shut your mouth."
Yes. Which it's like some underlying things that I always feel bad when people say stuff like that. Like shut your mouth is crazy.
It's crazy. He didn't say, if Jimmy not gonna be on the floor, Jimmy just shouldn't speak on the other team.
Shut your mouth.
He could have just easily said that. Like we don't really believe
he
in
also
that.
recently just said maybe he's washed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And now I got that
graphic.
graphic in my phone waiting to tweet it when
He
something
said,
happened.
maybe I am washed.
Maybe I am washed.
I think he was being sarcastic.
I
have no idea.
I don't even know the context. I just got the screenshot
Yeah.
just
Same.
in case I need to use it. Maybe I am washed.
Last
And
three.
it's just funny to hear a fucking 80-year-old man say I'm
Washed.
washed.
Especially,
No,
especially
he
a
said
GM.
something before last year that was like, what are the kids called? Trolling. Jimmy saying it's trolling. So he's trying to keep up with what's going on.
I just love that line. Hold on, real quick too. When he's just like, man, I ain't
Hey,
trying.
bro, stop cutting me up. No, I'll just play.
He said, man, I ain't trying to go into no tank. I'm 80 years old, bro.
Real spill.
Real shit. Like I ain't trying to watch that. I want to compete.
Y'all trying to win when I'm gone? Hell no. The last three teams, the Hawks.
Hawks, I got to give. I would say probably about a B plus.
I give it a
Somehow,
C+.
some way, it could be better, but I like what they're doing. Like the way they changed their team this year.
I'm going A- for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've exceeded my own personal expectations as well. Couple games under 500, got some really big wins. They're one of the few teams to beat the Cavs. They're the only team to beat the Cavs twice. Which is just crazy. And we're seeing Jalen Johnson take an all-star jump. We're watching the evolution of Trae Young where he doesn't eat the ball all the time, and he's letting Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels initiate offense. It's basically kind of perfect because the criticism that you have with Trae Young is like, offensively, if he doesn't have the ball, what is he doing? What is the offense doing? They found a way to get him more comfortable with not having the ball, even if that means they're 2 to 3 games over 500 and then back to 500 and then 1 game under. Like they're still very similar to last year as far as standing goes. But I do believe this is the right direction for their overall timeline.
That's kind of why I had gave it a C plus because I felt like there really hasn't been much progression in like the record from last year.
Jimmy
just kinda
Butler
stayed the
was
same.
reportedly offending with Tyler Hero showed up in a do-rag.
Is that really in the report? Oh,
See, that's hater
would've been
central right there.
crazy. Oh my goodness. Man.
I'm sorry.
And you know what? That's some shit that I would believe.
So I should run my own Centel page. The Hornets, man. Oh
Man,
I gave him a D+.
it's like yeah.
man.
Because it's a lot of injuries for them, and they just haven't. I thought they would be honestly where the Detroit Pistons would be,
For sure.
Yeah.
but it just hasn't been that.
Hey, on some real shit, another team that I wouldn't mind getting the first overall pick.
I want them to get the third pick. Sorry.
LaMelo,
No, they need the first pick.
B. Miller, and then Cooper. I'm actually not mad at that.
I want them to get Ace Bailey.
Oh my goodness.
Get the one player that don't need to play make and put him with LaMelo Ball.
And Brandon Miller.
Hell yeah.
They need somebody that's gonna do the
Brandon
other shit.
Miller, bro, it's a Brandon Miller for no LaMelo, and them damn there to double him to pass that damn ball.
I think Ace Bailey has defensive upside. Maybe if he doesn't go, if he goes to Charlotte, maybe not though.
Just culture wise.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag over there and do everything the thing got.
Mm-hmm.
He can defend, make some shots, score, run out in
I'm not
transition.
trying to see Cooper
I would
Flag run
give.
a red light.
I'm giving Charlotte a D.
Run a red light.
Yeah.
Get some jury.
You know, it's only about 6 red lights in Charlotte. We walked through that whole city in about 10 minutes.
We really did walk through from downtown to the suburbs.
And
in
was
10
and was
minutes.
bored.
That is crazy that LaMelo do that.
It's his city. Go karts on the roof.
We was so
His city.
bored. Somebody was brushing their beard.
We was just trying to find shit. Didn't we end up in that
I told
mini hoop slam dunk competition? Y'all remember that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was
we
like
just-
a Puma event.
Yeah, yeah. I
Danny
think it
Oh,
was
Green
yeah, I
Puma.
do
was
It
there.
was-
remember that,
Danny
yeah.
Green was definitely in there.
Yeah.
And I bet you took a picture of Danny Green.
Uh-oh.
You remember how we got in there, right?
No.
I bumped
Mark?
into I bumped into the Slam magazine guy.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And I was like, I like Slam or whatever. He was like, y'all going to the blah blah. He's like, come on.
They
I'll
was
get
just
y'all in
needing
there.
bodies in there.
Yeah, he was like, come on, I'll get
Y'all
y'all.
remember
in
when they had them fries at that lab event?
there. Oh yeah,
The
the McDonald's
McDonald's
fries.
food
The
truck.
bacon cheese
Hey,
fries, bro.
remember when I told you to get that girl number for me and you fumbled it?
Because you said you was too famous to talk to him.
She did say that.
Who crazier, Darrick? Who crazier? Me for trying to paint an illustration? Wasn't famous at all. Still not famous. But I get noticed a little bit now. Back then, there was a shit, like there was nothing. I probably had 20,000 followers talking about some too famous. But he wasn't supposed to say that to her.
I
He
think
also,
what
had,
you-
he also had that jack, so he might have been
Right.
a little off the.
I told him that, but I didn't tell him to say that like verbatim. You know how you tell somebody like, man, like, I'm finna go over there. Your mom think you going over there? Man, tell mom I'm playing. I'm going over there or something. You're not supposed to go on there like he said. He going over there, but he wants you to think that he going over there. So he going over.
I
Mike
just
went over
remember
there
her
like
saying that, like,
he
what-
said he too famous, so he want me to come get your number. I was like, oh my goodness.
she was just like, well, why doesn't he come do it then? And I don't know. I just walked away because I didn't have shit to say after that.
yeah, you ain't have a backup plan to defend.
But I definitely had to be off that jet because in my mind, it made sense enough for me to go over there.
That was also one of them nights where he was dancing, so you was definitely off that
Oh,
jet.
yeah, true.
You
that was one long night. Yeah, yeah. That was one
I
night.
think P crazier for saying that.
why?
That's still just crazy.
I was.
even if you were really, really famous, that's still crazy.
I think as a,
He wasn't supposed to
I still
repeat
think
that.
I still think from a woman's perspective, she's gonna want you to come
For
regardless.
sure.
Of your status.
Definitely want me to come regardless of my status. But he wasn't supposed to say that. He was supposed to be like, he was supposed to sauce it up for me. That's what I thought he was going to go over there
That's
and
too
do.
much pressure on
Because
me.
we was in a...
I
we-
still think her response would have been, well, why don't he come over here?
No, it wouldn't have. If you asked me to do that for you and I didn't say that, I think I would have made it work for you. Be like, hey, homie over there, yeah, offensive lineman for the Ravens. I'm coming over here for him. He kind of was, didn't really want to make a big scene coming up here, trying to get your number. Well, I wouldn't have said, hey, see the dude over there brushing his beard? He too famous to come over. That shit don't even sound right. He too famous to come over here. What does that even mean? You can just smell the cap all over that. We amateur hour ass guys. The last team was the Orlando Magic for the Eastern Conference.
Oh, I gave them A+ because I think what they did to battle through having all those injuries and still be a top seed in the East, it's very impressive.
Speaking of the Orlando Magic, you thought we was gonna let that shit slide. He thought he was gonna let that shit slide.
Well, he said, what did he say?
He thought we was gonna let that shit slide. The other thing about that night was that Orlando Magic's on, Mo Bamba was in the building. You thought we was gonna let that shit slide.
That boy had a walking boot on.
Right, with a juice cut.
Jeez.
Shout out to Traveling Queen the other night, man.
Big
Had a
offensive
big
rebound.
offensive rebound.
You know who Traveling Queen is?
Yeah.
Why is his mouth doing that?
Right.
Wait, what happened? What?
Because he said it and then his mouth
He's trying to smile.
quiver.
You,
He saw that damn tweet I had. That's what it was.
No, I watched the game.
So who he kick it out to?
Cole Anthony.
No, it's Paolo Banchero.
Oh
I don't
my
remember who he
God.
kicked it out to. But I
Yo, then
remember
why
he
you
got-
just say that? You said we call Anthony.
He also trying to say, like, see, I know who he is now.
he better, bro. That damn.
That mouth starts to moonwalk when he is
Bro,
up to
I
something.
need that clip, bro. I didn't even see it. I need that shit.
you
I'm
better
just
not
saying,
ever-
Derrick, you got the worst poker face ever.
You better ever cheat on your girl. Or if you do, you better never get caught. Because she come in and question you, that mouth going to get the moonwalking like Mike Jack in the 80s. My goodness.
Would you say you gave him an A+?
Yeah.
I was going A, but I could go A+. Shout out to Jamal Mosley.
Do you be peeping that, Mike?
What happened?
When he's telling a lie or
Yeah.
is that he be like,
And you can hear it in his voice too. Like you might be the perfect partner because you're gonna get caught if you do something crazy.
See, now you just got to play it off like, man, I always be doing this type of stuff in my mouth. Or like, I always be smiling.
what's your grade for the Magic, Mike?
I gave him an A. Anytime, bro. I thought they was going to fall off once they had their two big injuries, but they were able to stay afloat. So
Just fire the guys. Cole Anthony was dog shit for 4 months.
Yeah,
He was.
He said
Yeah,
he'll be
he's
nicer
screaming
to
dog.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just caress Wilson.
It's when we had that disappointment. He made that disappointment episode, so he had to turn it up.
All right, Western Conference, Lakers, just you. We don't need to give our opinions.
I'm going to give them a flat-out C.
That's
Honestly,
literally what I gave him to.
to start out,
Nobody asked you.
to start out, we was looking super hot, super good, but then we kind of fell back to reality. Not the greatest three-point shooting team, not the greatest defending team, and then some nights not even the greatest offensive team. So a lot of struggles over here, but we still are in the mix. So
I was in my own head when y'all was doing the Lakers talk. Have you enjoyed Dorian Finney-Smith?
I feel like we haven't even really gotten like
I agree.
to see him at his full potential.
Whatever
Like,
you
see
finna
what
say, I agree.
whatever he adds to the team, we haven't seen that yet.
I agree.
Right? He comes in and I've seen some like
Forgot
obviously
he
the
was on the
defense
Lakers.
and like the size helps us, but it's not like he had a game where he had 4 threes and was
I
plus
just
25.
saw like at the free throw line, it said he was averaging like 10.7 so far with the Lakers. I'm like, that feels like something decent, but I haven't been locked in enough.
We haven't really gotten a Dorian Finney-Smith game.
Shit. If that's what you're expecting,
Wait, what did he
some
say?
bad news. He hasn't had a Dorian Finney-Smith game.
What does that look
I'm
like?
talking about like where a game where it's like
His impact is
his impact.
Okay.
We seen his impact affect this game to the point where it probably, if he wasn't on the court, we would have probably lost.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you saying y'all
Shake
should just kept
Milton.
D'Lo?
I don't think he's saying that.
D'Lo
No.
got to Brooklyn, and then now his body just fell apart. That's the Brooklyn
Yeah.
the Brooklyn flu. You get to Brooklyn, they want to be bad. Just don't. You say your ankle doing what? I'm gonna put you on that report just in case questionable.
I'm gonna run through some teams real quick just to get them out of the way because I know y'all will grade them fast. OKC,
A plus.
Rockets.
A plus.
A plus.
A plus.
If y'all want to say any
I
extra
do want to
words,
spend. Let's
go
spend
ahead.
because we talked a lot about
Yep.
the Thunder. We haven't talked that much about the Houston Rockets so far this season.
Very impressive team, man.
Yes, man. One of those teams that when I came into the season, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be competing for a playing spot. They were competing last year.
And you know what's crazy?
No.
That would have been a dub if they were still
Yes.
in that same range that they were last year. But to see them skyrocket up the
Yes.
standings is kind of crazy.
with
It's-
no real acquisitions. It's
No.
internal development. It's people buying in
to the culture.
I saw Cam Whitmore throw a towel like
Yep.
excitedly yesterday.
He was super excited.
So I'm like, hey,
I saw him get an inbound steal, and I was
Yes.
like,
He's been
look at
phenomenal in these
him.
first halves for them, man.
yeah,
He's been. I think he's trying to really buy into the defensive side and trying to be more engaged on that side of the ball. Because in order to play for Ime, you are gonna have to defend at a high level. And Cam Whitmore is somebody who can sometimes take plays off on the defensive side of the ball. And Ime has pretty much said that he knows what he needs to do in order to get minutes.
yeah. Ime's one of those crazy coaches, man. He said in an interview, anytime someone scores on Amen Thompson, I'm upset. Because he's that good of a defender that nobody should ever score on him.
That layup that Ja
Isn't that
Morant,
crazy?
bro, the layup that Ja Morant had, that one where he did like a spin move and a crazy like double clutch. You got to do that shit when I'm on you. You can't just have no regular stuff. And I'm like, bro, that's a Ja Morant type bucket on a really good defender.
I got an
great
interview that I'm doing Friday. And one of the questions I want to ask this person is a player's coach. What's a player's coach at the NBA level? And the reason it's been on my mind is because of Ime. Because when the Cam Whitmore stuff was happening, they like asked Ime about it. And Ime was like, I don't take nothing personal. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a sensitive person is what he said. And like that was big for me because it's like sometimes guys can get frustrated and it can, could turn into something. But if you're an understanding coach who is a player's coach, who's been in the NBA, who's probably going through it yourself at some level, you can either go about it two ways. You can be sensitive and act like you don't see where they're coming from, or you can allow that player to just express themselves and then try to dial them back in. And that's what it feels like he's done with Cam Whitmore. He even said Cam's been good. He's been playing hard. I heard people mentioning body language or whatever. It seems like people are kind of looking for something now. He had a very efficient last game. Scoring is natural for him. So I'm always harping on the little things, the defensive things, and recognizing who is where on the court and how we have to guard specific guys. That's always going to be the thing with him and the young guys. This defensive schemes, coverages, and knowing your personnel. That's the big three there. His shot selection has improved vastly, and he's scoring like he always does. I think people are making a little bit too much out of nothing. And I think to be a young player going through what Cam Whitmore and a lot of these other guys have gone through and will continue to go through until they really make a move, it's good to have a coach behind you like that because, yeah, you might have an outburst in a particular game where emotions are running high, you're in a competitive spirit, and then a day goes by or two goes down and you come back down to life and realize, damn, I ain't have to do all that. But should you be, as a 19 or 20-year-old, in the doghouse of that coach now for the rest of the season because you were a young competing player who just really wants to play? And a lot of times we've seen it go a certain way where now you're in the coach's doghouse, the coach don't like you, and now your career goes into a whole left where in this situation, you're able to express yourself, right or wrong, and we move on from it, and you still play valuable basketball. I just think that that's dope.
Just a reminder that all of these dudes were the 1A guy on every team they played for. So it makes sense that Cam Whitmore is upset because he's never not played basketball. He's always, not even just play, he's always had the ball in his hand for his entire career. So when you talk about player coaches, I think Ime is definitely that. Because there's been times that there's been scuffles, and Ime is like in that month. Like, he wants to fight. He damn near fought Bron. Like, was that early this season?
That was
that
last
season?
year.
So, like, I think players love that type of thing. I think
Hey,
it
watch
helps.
that B word, bro.
I think you're right. I think it helps that he also is a former player, right? So I've been in the trenches. I played with Tim Duncan. I know what it means to be great. I was with one of the greatest, and here's what he did, and here's how he became that. I wonder how many former players are considered player coaches.
Yeah. I want to know how many player coaches have a lot of these guys played for. Like, who is a player's coach, and what makes them a player's coach for you?
You think it's more player coaches in the league or not player coaches?
Well, now I think it's way more player coaches. You have to be. But I think if we go back to the 2000s, to the 2010s,
It was more
more
X's and O's.
General.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say Greg Popovich is that, right? He was more, he
No.
ran the Spurs like he was a general.
Right, like he comes from that era that
Yeah.
I'm mentioning. But I think you look around now, I think Taylor Jenkins is probably a player's coach. In Memphis, you probably have to be a player coach.
Part of me thinks that Greg Popovich was able to kind of like change into that player's coach as well, too, these
possible,
last
yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially when he's just like, I think this is one of the last years of DeMar DeRozan, whatever. He's just like, man, the reason why I'm able to connect to a lot of these guys is because, like, they're my family. It's not like we just employees or we work together. It's like I make sure they're good. I check up on them. Same vice versa. And it's like, yeah. When I felt some type of way when I think DeMar had came back to the San Antonio, and like he seen Greg Popovich and he did nothing but hug him. Like it's stuff like that. Is like I can see him kind of having that change to it too.
DeMar DeRozan is a good case of what you're saying though, because I'm trying to find the report of them being in a hotel room and crying together.
Him and Greg Popovich.
Him and Greg.
There's
Popovich.
also this thing that DeMar does, Dinner with DeMar or something like that, his own little show. And he had Chris Paul on there, and they talked about Pop. And Chris Paul and DeMar both said how understanding Pop is because I think when DeMar got traded, that was his first time being away from his family.
Mm-hmm.
And DeMar said that he reached out to Chris Paul about it because he remembered Chris Paul talking about being away from his son. Because once Chris Paul left the Clippers, he's like, bro, I'm not finna take my son everywhere. That's just bogus. You know what I'm saying? And they both said that like one of the things that Pop had told them is like he let them leave because they got to go see their kids. And it's like if you have an extra day or whatever, he allowed them to kind of go see their family and whatnot, which was a big thing DeMar said for him because that was really the first time he was away, and you know he be having depression and different things, so that just stood out to both of them. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Here's the DeMar story that I was referencing. He said this. I never told anybody this story. My father passed away when I was playing in San Antonio. I called the GM like, yo, bro, I got to fly home tonight. I'm about to hop on this plane out of here. I got to get home. My pops just passed. So I called the GM. I didn't want anyone to know. I didn't want it to be all in the media. Literally 90 seconds later, I heard a knock at the door. It's Popovich. Pop sat in the room and cried with me for about 2 hours. Man, I'm not leaving until you leave, he said. He sat there and cried with me, bro. What's crazy is he'll be mad at me telling that story because he don't want credit. He never wants credit.
One of the true just like difference makers in the like just league history as a coach.
Get well soon, Pop, man. We want you. We want you back around, man.
Mm-hmm.
Want you back around.
Shout out to Pop.
I always got my respect.
Did I say that? Who did I just give y'all?
No, we were talking Rockets.
Okay. Grizzlies.
Grizzlies have to get a high A as well.
Yeah.
They've also dealt with a ton of injuries, and they're one of the deepest teams in basketball and still find a way to be competitive and win a bunch of games every single night. I think it was Think of Basketball put together a really good video of how their offense is different than every offense in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing any pick and roll, basically. And then I saw another video in the recommended about an assistant coach that they just signed this year that was a part of some league. I forget which league it was. He won the championship multiple times, and they're giving him a lot of the credit of this offensive boost that's been happening or this change in the system. And I absolutely love when there's an assistant coach that get a ton of credit for revolutionizing something. And this sport has been around for 100+ years.
Yeah.
The NBA's been around for almost 80 at this point, and it's rare that you see anything revolutionary nowadays. But this guy, even if I had his name in front of me, I couldn't pronounce the shit.
I'm looking. Remember, I did the video on the Grizzlies, and a part of it was talking about him, but I don't have the notes on the video in front of me. I deleted it.
Tomas Lisalo. Sorry. See, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to pronounce it. But his resume is kind of crazy for what he did for the teams overseas. And like he took a team that had never won, and then
it was like in the French league or something like that.
Okay.
He's incredible. They also have my guy Noah LaRoche.
It's an I and not an L. My fault.
Noah LaRoche. He's also part of the coaching staff that implemented the offensive no screens.
Mm-hmm.
So that he was running that at the D2 level, and took over, and had an offense where it's no ball screens.
This guy's going to be an
ball
NBA head coach one day.
He's going to be a head coach next year.
You think so? Somebody going to pluck him
He's
immediately?
going to be a head coach next year.
Welcome to the Bulls, baby.
But yeah, he won the Euro Cup.
Okay.
In 2024. That's what it was. And I think he coached like Pierre or something like that.
What team is going to fire the coach?
But he had...
Oh, he's going to be there with Scoot Henderson enough.
They had like a historic offensive rating of like 126 or something like that. So, when I made my video and I highlighted him and Noah LaRoche, all of the comments was like, we not keeping them. And I'm like, yeah, y'all probably not.
There's literally a Reddit post right here that say, please enjoy him while he's here, because there's no way he's not coaching Portland next season.
That's the Reddit post. Yes. That's it.
Man.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Right, yeah, he'll be in Portland or something like that. And Scoot, he's gonna change Scoot. Scoot gonna be looking crazy.
Yep. Buy stock right now.
The Mavericks.
It's a tough team to grade. When they were healthy, they looked really good. Like, they were the only team that was like, okay, see, that's the one team that could get them problems. Obviously, Luka been gone since Christmas. Kyrie Irving is out. And they still would give you moments like that game against the Denver Nuggets. I thought they had that one wrapped up. Then late in that third quarter, was it 12-0 run for the Denver Nuggets. And then eventually they end up losing. But they give you 3 quarters, and they're finding Jaden Hardy playing better basketball or Quentin Grimes playing better basketball. Well, we could look back on it and say, hey, this 1 month stretch when neither of the stars are there were really beneficial to our role players. I'm going to give it overall, though, like a B.
A plus.
A B plus.
I think they're doing okay with what they have because they did look really good when they were fully healthy. So as long as they stay afloat and they don't just go straight into the shitter while these 2 guys out, they'll be okay.
B, y'all said it.
Shout out to Derek Lively's playmaking jump. I've been watching.
The Trailblazers. No, I'm sorry, the Timberwolves.
For the Timberwolves, I gave it a C-. I think they starting to turn around a little bit, but overall, this is just a huge disappointing season when you're talking about coming from where they were to now the big regression of, like, you talking about you being an 8th to 7th seed. That's just not the expectations coming off of a conference finals run.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers, but, like, when I watch them in the clutch, it's a tough watch at times, man. It's bad turnovers. It's missed one mores. It's missed contested shots. I mean, the game against the Grizzlies from a few nights ago. Ja Morant was sick. He was awful, and then he had the big play to win the game, basically. And then the set that they ran out of that timeout to get it up, it looked like some shit that Mike would have drew up.
Rasheed Wallace.
Hey, can I ask you
Michael Jordan wasn't all that good of a defender.
Hey,
Come on, Uncle Sheed.
does Julius Randle throw the hardest chest pass or just passes ever?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, he be rocking it. It's like, bro, chill. I'm wide open, bro. Finna break my damn finger because you trying to throw that ball, bro. Just watch how he be passing the ball.
Do your finger push-ups.
Like SpongeBob. You remember the episode when he had the
Oh, yeah.
you're not locked in. Like
The
you
Nuggets.
should be.
Didn't he have a 6-pack on his finger?
He did. And
The
then he
Nuggets.
also had some guns on him.
I gave him a B+ as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they haven't really looked like this team that's gonna dominate and like you really fear them to go to the finals. But I think they still look like a good team.
Long as Brody is starting, baby. A, baby. We love it.
B+.
Aaron Gordon came off the bench the other night because Russ has been playing so good. I
Russ
don't think
is
they keep
hooping,
that
bro.
forever. But man, it's been so cool to see Russ be this impactful of a player again. Didn't know if he had a lot more in the tank, but that's just a testament to him, Jokic, Mike Malone, and maybe a good story forever. I mean, his resurgence has been one of my favorite stories of this entire season. It might be number 1.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Brody.
Said he was gonna have that bounce back in Denver.
The Suns.
F. Just because you don't,
I'm not mad at it.
Derek Cutthroat, boy.
just because when you had this much money invested into 3 players, your aspirations are a championship. It's not being 19-19.
I'm gonna give it a D. What about your boy Nurk, man?
What about him?
About to be a Hornet.
Man, I guess so.
For 2 seconds of Nick Richards. Maybe that's the move that can help them.
Are you still part of his fan club?
Why not?
Because he's
Bro,
bad?
he's bad.
But no, I'm with Derek, man. Once you ride, you ride.
Man,
All
no.
I'm gonna ride your ass right off a cliff.
Just because a guy maybe
He was riding different. Reverse cowgirl over here.
when a player starts to regress, that don't mean just switch up on him.
He was going crazy. Who was
No, you're right. You're right, though. When he starts to regress, that don't mean you switch up. You're right. But he never was as good as you ever thought he was at the same time.
That's why I said you was riding that thing, boy.
Don't make that look. You said him over Rudy Gobert.
And was arguing.
Like, you brought that to the podcast in the
And
room and
he
said
said
that's
that
the
one
one.
fat
No,
by
no, no.
fat, man.
Who was my guy?
Vucevic.
That was
Was it
later.
Valanciunas?
Valanciunas.
I think it was Valanciunas.
It was Valanciunas.
And this is when he was with the
Hey.
Grizzlies.
I want neither of them.
Hey, stop playing me, boy.
Well, right now, they kind of on the same tier.
Shit.
One going
One
for 2 seconds.
One of them can suit up. He ain't get sent home by his team.
The Suns wish they had Val over him. Anyway,
Shout out to Oso Iguodala, though.
what college you went to?
Ooh.
Pepperdine.
What
Okay,
college
Maxwell
he
Lewis.
went to. Oh, my. I can see it.
Can you feel it?
Mr.
Here,
Krabs.
Can you
He went
smell
to
it?
USC.
No.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, bro. Hey, you learning. You learning.
You learned it.
I don't got it.
What college did Jay Crowder go to?
He went to
He's at
Marquette.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking Cal, but I think it's because the colors are
color
the same.
scheme, yep.
I don't see teams. I see colors, bro.
The Clippers.
I mean, I don't see color. Everybody equality.
I gotta give them A- from what I thought they was gonna be without no
I
Kawhi.
see color, damn it.
Green.
Yes. Green.
Without-
and I'm getting it with a purple person if I have to.
It started
And
majority
no,
of the
Mike, it
season
ain't
without
the
no
green
Kawhi.
you roll up.
Oh, I thought it was.
Your rose is different colors. My wallet look like a Coogee.
You don't know where that's
they
from.
don't know that. They don't know that.
I don't drink liquor
Oh,
because
you know
the
that?
Budweiser.
No.
Oh, I was.
I just know it's from something.
I could have made that up. It
I
was
don't-
from
Mike,
something.
I don't drink beer because of Budweiser.
You know where that one's from?
Yeah,
That's Joey Badass.
Okay. That's his second project. Wasn't as good as the first one.
Which was called what? I hated
Nights,
the album
Summer
cover
Night-
of it.
no.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
Summer
Summer
Nights?
Nights. Yeah.
What?
I remember listening to that in high school. Like, this motherfucker
feel
fell off.
crazy, bro. I took
Fell
the
off.
game by storm. Just the X-Men out. That's just
Absol got a couple lines like that on his newest album. Where it's
These
like,
guys.
hey, no, when I first heard that, I was so high that I said, rewind that, Mason. Rewind. We listened to that song like 5 times in a row.
My favorite rapper said, "Girl, you done made my little man stand up."
My favorite rapper said, "Wheezy F baby in the F for phenomenal."
Leave him dead in the living room.
Get it?
Get
Leave
it?
him dead in the
He's
living room.
dead in the living room. That's how battle rappers be.
Clippers, A though. A minus. A
A.
minus.
Hey,
Kawhi's
shout out
finally
James.
back. James held it down. The defense is still great.
Norman Powell.
I
Chris Dunn was
apologize to
awful
Zubac.
yesterday.
All my apologies to Zubac.
2020 game last night.
He be hooping.
2020 game.
You a little late with your apology, but we accept it. That's Buddha.
Tyloo was asked why he didn't play Terrence Mann last night. He
I
said,
wanted to see
I
something.
wanted to see something.
Want to see how good we are without his ass because
Yeah.
he's traded.
He's definitely about to get his ass. Him and PJ Tucker. What is PJ Tucker doing nowadays? What y'all think?
I just seen PJ
Shoe
Tucker at a
shopping?
restaurant saying, "Why y'all closed?" I came all the way over here.
Oh damn.
My boy chilling.
Because that's $20 million right there.
11 million. And I'm chilling.
They
PJ got
100% are packaging those 2 players, right?
For
PJ
probably Bruce
got
Brown.
11 on the way.
For Bruce Brown is not a bad pickup. If Bruce Brown can play.
Yeah, we don't know his.
I
We don't
like-
know the
hey,
Is he
full
gonna be
status
in
of
the
Bruce
jersey?
Brown.
Is he gonna be in the
we-
top hat?
We
Hey,
didn't even know his
yeah.
status at the beginning of the year.
Hey, I love when you thinking like that, boy.
I always got my thinking cap on.
I see. Go Pelicans.
F.
They damn near get an incomplete, bro.
It's damn
Yeah.
near almost perfect, though. The 1 year that they still own their own first-round pick is the year that they have all these injuries.
What if they get Cooper?
Right. Then what happens? Zion gets – they do the same thing.
Trade
Every time they
Zion,
get the first
get
pick,
Anthony
they trade
Davis.
they start to get another guy.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, it ain't been good, though. I don't – it's been so bad, I have no opinion about it.
I mean, CJ turns up a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah,
Like, that's it.
it's just this isn't the expectation for that
CJ
team.
has turned up.
They
I
supposed to be.
still-
They went from being a 5th seed in the West last year to now they're the worst team in the Western Conference.
You were the 5th seed last year?
Yeah, weren't they?
No.
Didn't they play the Lakers in the
They were a
play-in?
playing team. They lost in the play-in
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
Lakers.
Oh, they were at one point, but then they were at one point the 5th seed.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad.
They
Yeah,
didn't finish as the 5th.
yeah,
I see
my
what you're
bad.
saying.
My
Okay.
bad.
No, that's
I
me.
messed up.
I misinterpreted.
I had
that
thought
too.
they still finished there.
Okay.
But yeah, they are 8-32.
I love when Zion does play and doesn't miss team flights. That's fun.
That was crazy.
What would make him miss a
And
flight?
also, they said this wasn't even the first
what
time.
would make him
either.
miss a flight?
A meal.
Come on.
meal.
We're
I'm
not
up
doing
for
that for Z no more. Can we cut it out with Z? Did y'all not? He looked so in
He
shape
does.
the other night. I mean,
The
yeah,
only-
he might enjoy it. Everybody
No,
enjoys some good
shut
food,
up.
right?
Shut up.
Everybody
Shut
loves some
up.
good food, man.
Because he deserves some credit. He just did a double entendre, a meal.
Oh
Oh,
my
true.
god.
That's a
He said,
double
"Oh, true." You should have just took the credit.
That's how they was at K-Dot. K-Dot, that boy K-Dot walked in and said, "What up, though?" He said, "Do you know what that means?"
Right, that's the
He
third
said, "What
entendre,
up?"
fourth entendre.
He said,
Mike just did an accidental double entendre. Because I don't know if he meant food or Mariah.
Yeah, but I do say like Shannon Sharp just went on this spiel like yesterday about him. I was just like,
What was he saying?
It's so tired, bro. Yeah, he be on that court. The food court at the mall.
I mean, that's all it
When
is.
Zion played, I called my dad and I say, hey, they're probably going to trade him, but I would buy. Zion
I would
looked
buy
really
too,
good,
bro. I would
man.
really
He looked
buy.
at some of the best shape that I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Now my dad like, but is he going to play the next game? He didn't play.
But that was because he got suspended. It wasn't because he wasn't healthy.
No, it's because he didn't. He didn't play that. He played the first
Oh,
game.
you know what? Yeah, because he said in his post conference, I don't know if they'll let me play the
And
next
didn't,
game.
and then got suspended.
Then he played against the Celtics and had his moments, even though he turned the ball over late, and then took a. You remember that one game against the Celtics where Giannis took that pull-up three late in the game? You're like, Giannis, you ain't attempted 3 in 2 weeks. Why are you pulling the middle? Zion did that against the Celtics the other night as well.
And the Celtics like,
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you're just bailing them. If anything, swing the ball. Just get it out of your hands. If you're tired or you can't create the shot, Trey Murphy had 30 and didn't touch the ball in the last 4 minutes. It's crazy.
Trailblazers, you and you only.
I gave them a B+. I think they've done a good job of being competitive. And I also think the young guys, they look fun. When you talk about Tamari Kamara, Shaden Sharp looks like a whole different player than he has in the past. He looks like he's starting to really take that step. And I just think they're very exciting.
Phillips' job safe.
Probably not.
No, that's expiring, right?
Yeah, I think once a coach is put on that seat, it's kind of hard for them to reverse it.
Jazz.
They doing what they supposed to do.
Hey,
Shout out to our guy Harkless, man.
I second that Elijah Harkless.
They supposed to be losing games, so they losing. So I gave him a B.
They supposed to be losing games like the Raptors, though. This should be dookie. Trade Colin Sexton, man.
I tried to watch them the other day against the
I did watch when they had them
Phoenix
black.
Suns.
They had them black jerseys on. Them jerseys was nice.
Because, I'm always team eye test and team advanced stats. The advanced stats had Michael Potter ridiculous, and I ain't watched a single second of him. And I'm like, I got to see what's up. I wasn't impressed. Maybe I missed it's the wrong game. Maybe I got to tune back in. But his numbers, like his own off
Men
numbers
lie,
are
women lie,
ridiculous.
numbers do too.
Can 100%.
Spurs.
They gotta get like
A.
I would give
plus.
A minus.
Yeah. I think when you talk about the trajectory of this team, for them being like a legit playing team, that's very impressive.
And that's with Devin Vassell not being very good. Like, he had a good game last
Yeah.
night from the stats. Again, I didn't get to see it, but for the most part, he hasn't been as good as he did last year, even the year before that. And you hope that this game maybe is the one that's going to start to get him back in the swing of things. So the fact that they're this good without their, in theory, second best player being really good is pretty impressive. He missed majority of the season so far too. So
shout out to
I
Julian
also
Champagny.
give
He
him a
held it
little
down
slack.
when
yes,
he
he
was
did.
out.
Sure did.
I give him a little slack too because this team is better offensively than it was last year. Like last year, it was like Vic and Devin Vassell, everybody else get them the ball. Like this, Chris Paul can make plays. Harrison Barnes can make plays. They got shooters that take shots for them. Like
They actually have a real point
they
guard.
have a better offense, and
Say
I
it
can
again?
see
They have a real point guard.
they do. And then
Trey Jones just wasn't the guy, I think. And then they also ran it with I forgot his name.
but Devin
Malik-
Vassell,
who?
regardless of
Malachi
stats looking
Branham?
down,
Yeah.
still
No,
one of the
I'm asking.
nastiest
I'm
like kind of
asking.
shot creators.
I went blank again.
What does he look like though? I'm saying like number.
I don't even know what you're. Wait, what are you
Is he
talking
talking about somebody on the Spurs?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
Is he
trying
there right now?
Yeah.
Stephon Castle. Malik.
Jeremy Sohan?
Yeah, Jeremy Sloan.
Oh,
I don't know why the last few days I've been blanking on his name.
you don't watch basketball.
I know.
It's okay.
He said, I know I don't watch basketball. Shout out Chris Paul.
Big shout out to Chris Paul.
I guess. Yeah,
He
I was
he
trying-
is one of the best
I was
signers in
trying to
all
make
season.
an
I
awkward
say that.
silence and y'all wouldn't let it happen. The Kings.
I gave him a B, just because of the turn of the tide. Once Mike Brown got fired, it's been a completely different shift, and his team looks completely different. So, like, the fact that it took them getting rid of the coach in order for them to start hooping.
Shout out to Doug Christie.
Shout out to Doug Christie.
Shout out to Doug Christie.
He knew something that Mike Brown didn't.
Do you think he gets a full-time gig now?
Yeah.
Or is he just going to be
Two
interim?
teams
No,
Doug
he's a-
Christie
he-
played for as a player.
I don't know.
Okay. One
one?
team Doug Christie played for as a player.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm done with you, bro. I'm so done with you, bro.
You can't tell me one more team Doug Christie played for? Not even a guess.
No.
Not even a slight clue.
Can I give
Wait,
him
wait,
a,
Take
don't
a
say
guess.
Don't
The
say nothing.
Bulls.
Huh?
The Bulls.
Just think.
The
If I'm
Knicks.
asking you that he did play for them.
There we go.
He said, there we go. Now stop asking.
He played for the Kings.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably his most like memorable team.
Yes, 100%. He is Sacramento for a lot of people. Yeah, that's funny. Shout out to Doug, man.
And the last team is the Warriors.
That's the last team we went through all 30.
Yep.
Our Warriors get a D. But damn, y'all are pissing me off.
Yeah, I gave him a D-. Just because you're not really capitalizing on Steph Curry's timeline. I don't really know why Draymond and Steph have so much influence on y'all determining what y'all want to do with y'all future assets.
Steph
I
Curry is
understand
their
Steph
organization.
Curry.
No, Steph Curry is the organization.
Draymond being the guy is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't trade for Larry Marketing. We all right. Steph Curry ain't say that. It was Draymond Green is going to determine the future of your organization. And in that article with Vince Goodwill, he was saying, like, yeah, I want to be able, when it's all said and done, for me, Steph, and Steve Kerr to come back in here and say we built something. Regardless of what y'all do, you could trade every first-round pick for the next 100 years, and you will still be able to say that.
Yeah.
Y'all were a literal dynasty. You holding on to first-round picks or young players who are probably ass is not changing what your legacy is. It's not changing what Steph Curry's legacy is. So go out there and win. Mike Dunleavy's cool. My job is secure. I ain't got to worry about losing no trade because I'm not going to do no trades. That's crazy, bro.
I never heard of a player saying that I care so much about
Well,
what
he
this
said he
team
wants to be a
looks-
part of the organization when it's done. So he's thinking about after retirement being a part of the
So he
front
wants to be a
office,
front,
maybe.
he wants to be a part
I
of the
want
front
to be the
office, so he
GM,
have
so
his
keep
draft
them,
picks.
keep them.
Yeah.
He
So
wants
when
them
they
draft-
fire him inevitably, it's my turn.
and I'll at least still have my draft picks.
It's crazy to me.
That's crazy. He's thinking it from a GM perspective in the future.
From $300 million valuation to $7.6 billion. That's what Steph Curry did with the Warriors. And you can't get him another All-Star? Just to see? Just to see.
I played against a Steph Curry dude in the rec yesterday. He looked just like him.
He was left-handed.
No. Even worse.
What?
He had fucking bronze on.
Bro, nah, he killed me yesterday. Bull was talking about, man, I might bring my Anthony Edwards build, my Paul George build. He like, stop calling that build a Paul George build. He's 6'6", man. He's like, that's a Jeremy
Paul
Lamb.
George is 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Making him 6'6", there's Norman Powell. Not even. He's like 6'4". Yeah, it's like Jeremy Lamb, the smooth 6'6" guy. We
Tell
got
Jeremy Lamb, man.
the ancient generation.
Oh, let's get it. Book club
Christian,
day.
you could take them things out too. Yeah.
So what the ancient generation was for this time around was chapter
5 and 6, man.
5 and
Come on, man.
6.
Act like you read.
Page 117 to 173.
We know Mike didn't.
We know Mike didn't. Okay.
You read?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You was sick. You act like I'm shitting on you.
I don't mean I can't use my ass in my mind.
Oh.
So chapter 5 is the 4 foundational harms: social depravity, sleep depravity.
Depravity.
Yeah, just a couple ways you can pronounce that word.
What's the real way?
Deprivation.
Okay.
I'm-
I'm making sure you know how to say shit and read.
When
That's two
when he started
pronunciations.
saying those words, I was like, what?
Yeah, me too. I mean, it sound like somebody that couldn't read.
I'm like Ken Brockman, but they don't understand that. Attention fragmentation and addiction. That is chapter 5. Mike, you want to open up?
Can you remember what chapter 5 is?
I literally
it's
just
the 4
read the
factors.
title. Yeah, it's the 4 foundational harms.
So give me one of them.
He just
Social deprivation.
Oh, that's when they talk about like, basically they talk about like, first of all, they went in a little bit before that. They talk about like phone-based childhoods and like obviously like free play childhoods. Here they go into like how basically they recognize a lot of these like newer technologies are taking the deprivation of these kids. So like talk about gaming in there, how you could lose sleep out of that.
taking away the social. Yeah.
You could lose sleep, communication with friends and stuff like that. But I did like how they were talking about a lot of negatives that come with like technology and stuff like that. They did bring up some positives that I was looking at because like
What you take from it?
from the take, I
Because
actually related
everybody
a
that's
lot.
watching and that we talking, we read it. We don't need you to break it down. We want what you took from it.
What I took from it, basically what I would say is when I get older, I'm putting a limit on myself in gaming. When I have a kid, I'm putting a limit on myself in gaming. Because a lot of these things that I read in here about like how it affects children or just people in general, I relate to a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know, because I was born born on 1997, which is like that sweet spot for that. So it's like I got a lot of taste of just like without having that technology to having it. And I feel what they're talking about. Like, I do feel a lot of times where I feel anxious in times where I have to be super social and stuff like that, which I guess apparently somebody a couple years older than me might not feel that type of same way. So it's like, it's crazy to see that I relate to a lot of this stuff, but it's also, I don't know how much I'm going to change from it. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was crazy when he had talked about how MySpace and Facebook they really weren't originally created to be like the social media sites that they have become. They were originally created to just be social networking and like meet your friends and family. And it's crazy how once the owners of those companies learned that they can monetize this in a way and make money off of it by putting ads and stuff on it, and like how they can really like create this algorithmic based website. It's crazy how it changed completely from what it once was supposed to be.
I mean, I think that's pretty normal in company building, right? You have one idea, then you recognize, idea number 2 makes more sense. Like even our podcast, right? We were a culture show. That was the idea. And then we did the first episode and said, nah, we're a basketball show.
But then you also see how it changing hinders the growth in the minds of everybody who are on it on a regular basis. Like,
it's at the expense of the consumer.
Yeah, and like I don't think the owners obviously don't care because those checks clear every month for them.
They actually care so less that they're trying to get you to stay on even longer.
Yes.
Putting like-minded things on your timeline, making sure that you go down these doom strolls, doing all of this because their currency is your attention.
Yes.
Which is so crazy. Even right here, it says around 40 hours a week for preteens. That's how much they're on their phone or screen-based type things.
That's a normal work week for an adult.
Right. And then if you're 13 to 18, it's up to 50 hours a day, like a week.
And they're talking about like averages.
Yes.
Because there's going to be some exceptions that are sky high.
Yep.
Yeah, B.J. Fogg, a professor at Stanford, wrote a 2002 book titled Persuasive Technology, Using Computers to Change What We Think and Do. Fogg also taught a course titled Persuasive Technology, in which he taught students how to take behaviorist techniques for training animals and to apply them to humans.
Yeah.
Many of his students went on to found or work at social media companies, including Mike Krieger, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, a co-founder of Instagram.
Yep. It's insane.
Persuasive technology, behaviorist techniques for training animals and how to apply them to humans. And they took that, and that's how they transferred them into social media platforms.
Isn't that when they was about operant conditioning as well?
With the mouses or
Yeah, a little bit after,
Yeah.
It's some crazy stuff
or a little bit
in
before,
here,
I'm
man.
sorry.
There's another thing from Gene Twenge, if I'm pronouncing that right,
Yep.
that shows that teens who spend more time using social media are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and other disorders. Now, that's not anything new. Like, that's some information that we've known for some time. But he also, right before that, has a graph about how much time people are using or spending with their friends. And the drop-off is ridiculous.
Did you think about that? Like, did we just grow up, or we just kind of like, we were okay with being more online and being friends?
I think it was a combination of a couple different things. Like, when we were in high school, again, we're talking early ages of like...
This is 2010 through 2015. 2015 is when we graduated, obviously, but like 2011 through those couple years.
Right. And it was early stages of everybody having a smartphone. We would legitimately hang out every day. We would go to Target. We would walk around Target for 3 hours at a time. We would go get on bikes and do stuff like that. But as you said, as we started to get older, we felt more comfortable with our relationships going to social media or going to gaming. And I think that obviously the pandemic is what he referenced here as well. The pandemic opened that up so much more for so many more people. We're like, for 2 years, we didn't really see each other. Our work was literally on the internet, you know, like, and it's like, well, how do we fill our day then? You on Call of Duty? You on Call of Duty right after we finish this podcast? Bet. And that's what it was for us.
And that's why I was saying, like,
most people, I would guess.
I did like in the book how they kind of brought out some of the ideas, because a lot of this is kind of like bashing technology and like how we need to utilize it as a way better way as like humanity. But they were talking about is like, we had given out some surveys and, I forget the number, but they're like, the majority of the people say that they kind of benefited from it, right? They learned that they can get social interactions they couldn't get just offline, right? I could learn about I got a friend in Germany. I wasn't having that prior to that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's different benefits and like how you can get from it. But I think in all seriousness, it just comes down to how much you limit yourself.
Yes, and I think that's one of the best parts about Jonathan Haidt. He's never going to say nobody should have social media and it's all a cancer, because he definitely broke down like, hey.
My 6-year-old had my iPad.
Yeah.
And told me I couldn't stop
He's
looking
like,
at the screen.
Well, yeah, I think he also does a good job of reiterating that he thinks that a safe age for kids to get on social media is like over the age of 13. Like and he thinks that companies should find a way to really enforce that rule. But in all honesty, I don't really know how they would enforce that rule.
I think the question you had to ask is like, if I'm the company and I'm limiting the people that can use my app, does that benefit me?
It doesn't, which is why they won't.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the start is always in the house. That's why when Mike was like, when I get older and I have a kid, I'm gonna limit my thing. And to me, that was some good shit to hear from him. And we'll see if that happens or whatever. Who knows?
You know things change, but like,
right, for sure.
but I
But it's a
think-
good mentality to have, because in order to set a tone for your child, you have to be the reflection. You can't even, like, again, I'm raised in an era where just because my mom didn't smoke, but I'm giving an example. If my mom did smoke a cigarette and I looked at her and was like, I could smoke, you smoke it, my mama would have been like, I'm grown, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's just the era I grew up in. But it's also a big important thing for parents to understand that your kid is going to look at what you do, whether what you tell them or not, and that's going to be a big influence in itself.
I can't tell my kid to go play outside and I'm just on the game all day.
Exactly.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
you
If
know,
you're
I have
telling
to
your
have
kid
some
to make up
influence.
their bed every morning, but your bed is not made up,
Right.
it's going to be hard for them to follow it. Sometimes when you just do shit by example, you don't even have to say anything. Just making my bed up, they're going to imitate you, and it's going to become a part of their thing. One of the things that is so interesting in all of this stuff, and he reiterates a lot, and back to what you was kind of talking about, Mike, is like a lot of this stuff is part of your control, but for the future and the next generations, it's also out of their control, because the environment in the world is so different that, like, some of the stuff you're saying about not being out and the social deprivation, it's like, for me, because I was born in a certain era and a certain time, which I had no control over. It's just when my parents decided to meet and have sex. I still, even in the world of technology, I still crave social stuff. So, like, me and some of my homies went to watch the Ravens play, and we ain't do nothing special. We was trying to go somewhere. They wasn't showing the game. Went to B-Dubs. I don't even eat B-Dubs like that in 2025, but I went because I'm kicking it with my homies. Last episode, we was talking about going to Miami. I got excited because I still crave for it. No matter how much technology drives, and I'm on a Discord with y'all every day, I'm a part of social media like everybody else. For me, because I was raised in a certain era, I still find myself highly craving social environments where I can talk to people face to face. I love going to places. I love being the life of the party. I have no problem talking to a stranger at a basketball game, a party, at a Friendsgiving. That's just going to be my vibe always.
Yeah.
Some of these other kids that are going to come in, or my kids, the environment around them, no matter how much I try to implement, you lose that. He even might talk about that in the book. You could take a child and implement all these rules, but if the environment is everybody else being on their phone, then you're still losing the social interaction.
Yeah. There's
Even
some
if you
stuff
tell
I
your
think about
kid-
too. Like, obviously he makes a lot of sense, and he says like, just with the like unsupervised, like
Play.
giving them unsupervised play and unsupervised that. I can't lie. In this day's age, like you said, like it's just different from how it was back then. It's a lot of stuff I can't imagine. Like, I'm not letting my sister kind of go a couple blocks off. Like,
Right.
it's just not that no more.
I think it's
You
a
know what
little
I'm
push
saying?
and pull in those conversations. 'Cause I thought the same way. When he was saying, I'm like, I feel a lot of shit you saying, I don't know about that
Like,
one,
I
Brody.
understand it, but I just can't do it no more.
Unsupervised play is also probably your cousin and your sister being able to play without you being over their shoulder 24/7. And
100%.
when you babysit
100%.
them, you ain't got to be over there every time they do something. Versus, like, I get you, because
I'm not-
Jonathan Haidt should know that nobody in 2025 is not too many people is letting their kid go 5 blocks down.
It was
Right.
actually just a story not too long ago where someone called the police on the mom because she was at a store and she let her 10-year-old, 11-year-old go to the store next door by himself. And they saw a kid, he looked younger than what he was, but they saw a kid walking around the store by himself, and she got in I don't know what the legality of it all, but like the police pulled up and like put her in handcuffs for it. doing exactly something that our parents probably did, right?
Yeah.
Just,
Yep.
You don't want to be in Target. You can go next
When
door
I can't remember
Dick's
the
Sporting
age.
Goods or
I had
whatever.
to be young. Like I'm talking about probably what they talking about 10, 9 when my mom and dad felt comfortable. Like he could be in the house by himself. You best just don't open that damn door for nobody.
Plain and simple.
I don't even know if my cousin takes the garbage out, and he's probably about 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my same rule. Like that was it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who it is. You just you ignore
You
that.
ain't never
mug.
seen that Lavelle Crawford one when he's talking about his mama.
Oh
No.
my God.
He said,
that's
"Mom,
a classic.
He's basically like has the same story. Don't open the door for nobody.
Yeah.
He said his grandma was at the door. He's talking about let me
I'm
in, baby.
conflicted.
Let me in. He said, Mama told me not to open that door for anybody till she get home at 6 o'clock sharp. His daddy come up there. He's talking about, boy, open that damn door for your grandma. He said, my mama told me not to open that door. He's like, well, I have a key. I live here. He said, apparently not.
This one is.
that
I want to
remind me-
just quickly refer to Darrick because you mentioned the 16-year-old thing. Australia just implemented this, and I just Googled how is Australia like enforcing it? Government issued IDs. You have to scan your ID to get on Facebook. You have to scan your ID to create an account.
Did he say that on the book?
No, I just Googled that.
I think he might have said
Oh,
that.
he might have? Okay.
Or if he didn't say they were, maybe that was one of his ideas that people should implement. He probably got it from them.
Okay. And I don't know how it's going because that's new. That just got 2025, so it's only been going on for 14 days.
58% of teenagers report that social media helps them feel more accepted. 71% saw it as a creative outlet, and 80% felt more in touch with their friends' lives. A 2023 Common Sense Media report found that 73% of girls report having fun daily on TikTok, and 34% said their lives would be worse if they did not have access to the platform.
That is so well. It might be happening very, very soon. So that's the thing. But that's some of those things like a creative outlet. That's one thing about social media.
Yes.
Like if you are a creative person, a creator, social media could be very beneficial. Like even me, I'm conflicting because I'm trying to cut down my screen time. But part of my job is to tweet about the NBA and stuff like that. If you're an artist, just tweeting out your pictures or your work can go a very long way. I mean, our logo is from Tyler Upchurch. We wouldn't know who he was if it wasn't for him tweeting and going on Instagram and posting all of that stuff. So I can see it being that part being true, but needing it or life will be better without it. It's some scary stuff that's what our kids are going through.
Yeah, because I don't really see how life would be different if we didn't have TikTok. Or
Well, for us, for sure. Yeah.
Imagine a
like-
road trip without an iPad now. You know what I'm saying? It's different
You wouldn't be with
times.
your girlfriend.
I think online dating would be there.
No, I'm just saying, like, if we cut down a lot of I think online dating came from the fact of having social media.
They had like matchmaking services, I think, before. They
Way
had, like,
before,
apps.
but they not
like
nothing that,
you
not
make your
nothing
little
that
tape. or
nothing
whatever.
he would have
Oh
been
my
on.
God, they
make
did
your
have
little
the
tape or
tape.
whatever, and
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
this
He
what
would've
I
done
Yeah,
this what I'm
he
like.
wouldn't have been on blackpeoplemeet.com.
Yeah.
You know what
He
I
might
mean?
have been.
And if he was, Angie wasn't gonna be on blackpeoplemeet.com.
That's for sure.
He wasn't gonna find his type on there. No, I'm just joking.
The addiction part is very scary as well. 'Cause
Yes.
He compared it to a hypodermic needle.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Because
Yeah,
I
he
feel that
did.
way too. I think you might have just literally did it.
What?
You just doing something. You just have this urge to just open up your phone.
And he
Go to
also
social
talked
media.
about how they did that test where they put people in like this classroom and he had them. One person had their phone in their pocket. One person has their phone
On the
away
desk,
from
and the other
them,
person's like
and
has
away
their
from
the
screen
other
open or
one's
some
on the
shit.
desk. And then he said the one who didn't have their phone on them performed the best. The one who had their phone on the desk performed the worst, and the one who had their pocket in the middle,
Was
in
in
their
the middle.
pocket, he
Was
performed
in
in
the
the middle.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it honestly shows you that having your phone next to you hinders you in your workspace.
Yeah.
I think it hinders you in everywhere.
It's times where I like haven't checked my phone in a few hours. Like maybe I took a nap or something, and they're just like. Sometimes my phone just get lost, and I'll be like, I'll be on my MacBook, and I'll kind of check like that. It be times where I like, damn, I should probably go find my phone because I don't want to miss like, one, I don't want to miss y'all texting me or like something important or whatever. It's just like I constantly feel like I need to be able like available with my phone.
Yeah, I kind of went through that yesterday. We was putting up the Christmas tree and everything, and when we were getting ready to leave out, I was like, oh, my phone ain't in my pocket. But I was like, I don't really need my phone. But I was like, I also don't know where it is. So like, I'm like, where
Panicking
is
a little
it?
bit.
But I was like, me, my fiance, and my daughter, we're all upstairs. Everyone who I need to talk to is right here.
Yeah.
So like, and I left it for however long it took us to reorganize. And I was like, why did I think that I needed my phone, realistically, to just go do a task when I genuinely didn't need it?
Yeah.
There was no need for me to have it.
Because even if it is an emergency, I'm sure your fiance had hers. So if they really needed to contact you, they could contact her.
No, actually, convincingly, we both didn't have our phones.
Hey.
Me and Mike had a funny situation. So Mike had his runs for the 2K. Obviously, usually I'm in the run. So he had a time for Sunday. It was going to be 8 o'clock. I know that now.
Mm-hmm.
I go in the chat. I'm ready. I'm there at 8 o'clock. Nobody's in the draft, and I'm seeing them have the conversation. And Mike said, man, I'm pushing the draft back. So I say, oh, okay, pushing the draft back 30 minutes. So I then go to the tab to see the draft time. The draft time says 8:30. So I'm like, okay, 8:30, he's going to add 30 minutes, be back here at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, I'll go and read this. So I'm going to read this for an hour. And since I'm reading this, I'm going to put my phone, I have my phone face down. I say, I'm not checking this shit until I'm done with this book or whatever I'm trying to read. So cool. It was euphoric. Just don't. I won't lie. I didn't have my phone, but I had a basketball game on one of the monitors. I can't lie.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, damn, okay. But I kept reading. I'm reading. And I finish up, and it was like 8:57. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Look at God. I did all my reading. Now it's time to get on the game. I get on the game, man.
They in game 1 already.
I'm seeing team 1, 2, 3, 4. I say, wait. Hold up. So I go to the chat. I'm like, oh, y'all done drafted? What happened? I thought you were pushing in 30 minutes. Mike said, I did. He added the 30 minutes.
I edited the time to fix it to the right time. With
So
the
when I
added
seen
minutes.
8:30, I added 30 minutes. He already added the 30.
Oh, yeah.
So I was
But you
off
know
by
what's
30
so
minutes.
crazy? For some reason, I'm kind of glad you didn't make because that was the funnest damn tournament.
Oh,
and
man.
you was just there watching. It was so
I agree.
perfect, bro.
I agree. I had so much fun
I'd
being
rather
an
have
observer.
you laughing at our team than like you
Me
on
and
the
you being
team.
blue?
Yeah,
Because
that we
when
just
me
mad
and you
as
both
hell.
blue, it ain't no laughing. Nobody laughing.
Bro, I say we playing a whole game. I just hear P in the back snickering and giggling, bro.
We could go on to chapter number 6.
Let's
Why
go.
social media harms girls more than boys. This is not news, right? I think we all can see it. You open social media, you can just see it.
Shout out to him, though, because I feel like in today's climate of the world, this type of stuff and these type of conversations, factual or not, people don't want to say because you don't want to come off as sexist and everything like that. And I think he did a really good job doing so, but I also felt like he made sure every time he said something about the girl, he's like, and I'm going to talk about why in chapter 7. Boys are also affected.
Yeah.
So he made sure he ain't go too hard. But, like, if guys are affected by something more than girls, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a sexist woman if you're calling out the fact that, you know, men ain't shit sometimes. Hey, I agree.
And I think there's a lot of simple, like, common sense to it that would make you think that, like, he's just actually going for, like, factual type stuff. And
And he has the
things
stats.
you can
Like,
actually see.
he's not just saying stuff without
Right.
having
Saying a
proper
podcast.
Yeah, he's not just saying stuff blatantly in a disrespectful way. He's just giving you the numbers and the stats based on research that he's done or that other people have done.
And I
And
don't
he's
think
crediting the people who have done the research. So you
Yeah.
can just easily just go look at the research.
And it's not the first time we heard about this type of thing too. Like we know about the unrealistic standards that a lot of females have based off social media or just
all
pictures
of
and
us
stuff
have
like
girlfriends,
that. Mm-hmm.
sisters, and girlfriends, or like people that you've been around, like even if they, you know what I mean? So I think we all could have made the guess. It's just that he's giving us the facts behind
The
it.
story he told at the top of the chapter scared the shit out of me. He talks about Alexis, who was born in 2002. She got her first iPad in 2012 when she was 10 years old. Initially, she got it to play Webkins. Shout out to Webkins, one of the goated type things. And by 2013, she was in 5th grade, and people teased her about playing these kiddish games and told her to get onto Instagram. And she got onto Instagram. She was only 11, even though you got to be 13. She was going around deleting the app so her parents didn't see it. Then she eventually disguised the app to look
Is it
like a calculator.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to delete it no more. And then on the very next page, he has figure 6.1, a drawing that Alexis made when she was just 12 years old, which is her sitting in the corner of her room, and she's thinking, stupid, worthless, kill yourself, die, other words that I can't say, weirdo, freak, other words I can't say. And she's on her phone, it says worthless, you should die. She's 12 years old, and whatever algorithm or the people that she thought were her friends on Instagram got her to the point that at 12, she was thinking that she was worthless. That's scary shit, man.
Yeah, that is
The
scary, 'cause,
scariest part, I mean,
She also had to be hospitalized in 8th grade for anorexia and depression. She battled eating disorders for pretty much the rest of her life. And the good thing is that she eventually got to what a healthy weight is. She's doing okay as an EMT, but she still is battling in her 20s. She's still battling eating disorders.
all
scary,
of this is
man.
sad, right? Like, all of this is sad. The thing that breaks my heart the most, and I've had this conversation with young people that I know so much, and I cannot stress this enough. And if I ever continue to have the chance to talk to young people, this is one of the things that I'll continue to stress. She got an iPad for Christmas, right? It said when she was 10, she initially used it for webcams, a line of stuffed animals that enables children to play with a virtual version of the animal. In 2013, some kids teased her for playing this, what you just said. At some point, adults and people in kids' lives, we have to continue to stress. When I see this shit, it warms my heart. Like, I remember my mom used to be like what my younger sister wanted for Christmas, and for a long time, my younger sister still wanted kid toys. She was like older, but she still used to ask for toys.
Yeah.
And I remember me and my mom was talking about it when we were shopping for it one time, and we was just like, you know, it's kind of cute that even though she's like 10, she's still asking for like a baby doll or whatever, because, you know, kids grow up so fast.
Yeah, they grow out of that stuff fast.
So fast. And it's like, I hate to hear somebody still had a little bit of innocence at that age to use their iPad to do something that they like, and it was a virtual stuffed animal. It is a kiddie game.
But who cares?
But number one, who cares? And number two, what a lot of kids don't know is once you hit this certain adult age, the only thing you search for in life is that. We sit at the fucking game as grown men and play something that allows us to be reconnected to what we were like as children. I sometimes scroll and I'll see like montages, or I'll hear a song. I'll even send it to y'all. And it'll be like, remember this? You load up 2K13 and it's John Legend. Whoa! And it's like, that shit give me chills, because it's like I'm never gonna have that time again. It's not about the game. It's just about the time frame that song or that moment connects me back to. Being in my mom's basement, carefree.
We're up all night to get lucky.
You know what I'm saying? Like this little silly ass
How it
songs. And it's just like it's
Anytime a 2K song come out in like a random public space, me and KB, we got to make eye contact with each other.
it just takes you back, bro. And so when I see that and I think of the kid, like, to me, when I first was reading that, I didn't know where the story was going, but I was like, that is so cute and adorable that this girl was older. She got an iPad, and the first thing she wanted to do was some little kiddie shit. And it's just like, I hate when the rest of the world finds a way to kind of make it, oh man, that's some kiddie shit. When you're a kid, you want to be grown, and when you're grown, you want to be a kid. And the unfortunate part is when you compare about the lifespan of life, majority of it is being an adult. So enjoy being a kid because you have this much time of being it. Before you know it, you're gonna have anxiety, gray hair. You're gonna be
Bills.
Fat,
I was gonna say
bills.
bills, have to get up early in the
You
morning.
won't have the same what is it called? I'm thinking of
Got to
potassium.
cook your own food. You miss
But-
that home cooked food, KB?
We talk about it all the time. We used to be able to go to school, go to lunch, eat hot flames, drink Mountain Dew and a pack of cookies, and then go play 3 hours of basketball. Today,
Don't you dare, boy.
that stack of cookies is staying on my hips. You go look at my high school pictures, I'm going to look anorexic. I was skinny as hell.
No, in my basketball picture, I look super slim, bro. I look like I'm a good 190, 180.
Now I walk around with a dad bod.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. The ladies definitely love it. Which again, and
You ain't got to like because the hood gonna love
another
it.
2K song. Shout out to J-Rock, man.
He spends a lot of time basically stressing that what he's talking about is causation, not correlation, right? Because that is something that gets misinterpreted a lot of different times, where like people will see two things that are going up at the same time and just assume that they are causing each other. I always like when people show the graph that say the amount of cookies ate per year and the amount of guns sold per year. So if you eat cookies, you must want to go get a gun. No, that's correlation, not causation. So he does a very good job of breaking down that, like, all of the graphs and all this he's talking about is not just a correlated stat. This This is real causation. We talk about the depression amongst girls, how it's elevated as much as they use social media. No. That is not just correlation. That is a causation, and it gives you why.
One study was trying to say that digital media use was with harmful psychological outcomes was so close to zero that it was roughly the same size as the association of eating potatoes with such harms. But then he said Gene Twenge and him reanalyzed the same data sets and zoomed in on the association of social media as opposed to a broader measure of digital technology like watching TV and owning a computer. And what the outcome was, the proper comparison was no longer eating potatoes, but instead binge drinking or using marijuana. This is a clear, consistent, and sizable link between heavy social media use and mental illness. So they tried to use digital media use as a broad term and say, look, it's harmless. It's like eating a potato. But then he zoomed in and said, no. We're not talking about TV and just having a computer, but actually being on social media. And then that zoomed in lens made it from eating potatoes to now doing drugs and binge drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Another good part about this part of this is that he was talking about how he's noticed that women who have good quality of friends versus quantity of friends are usually the happier women that he's come across, especially. And he also said this also applies to men too, because I think it is good to have a good quality of friends versus having a bunch. Because you have a bunch, you're not going to really, there's not a really good balance there. And you might have a bunch of bad ones, and you might not even see some people's true colors because they might have a bunch of friends too. And also, I think he was using that as a way to show that a lot of people chase having a bunch of followers. And like, there's this obsession with having a certain number of followers, and
it's a
it
feeling
really
of being,
it hurts your mental health.
It's a feeling of being like accepted.
Yeah, and also like when you post them online, he was talking about how some women, they post a picture and they be doing about their life, and they're like, oh wait, let me go look and see who commented on my picture. And then he was telling a story about how someone who did look and she didn't have any likes or comments, and then she got in her head and thinking like, damn, I'm not really that much.
She said
like,
she went to go comment on other people's stuff to get some more interaction.
Yes, she went to go. Yes, and
I know people like that.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, damn, that's actually crazy when you look at it from that lens. That like,
I'm glad I never really got into Instagram like that. I think I did have that little wave when it first. Remember me and John had like we would just follow back everybody, but like I don't post nothing on Instagram, and I kind of like that about myself.
But I also think that we're not necessarily a target demo for Instagram.
Possibly.
Yeah, we're not.
Cool, get a picture up. I get a picture up once every 3 months.
I get one.
I just
Every
let it
once
exist.
2 years.
I'm finna get back on there.
That's my least opened social media app, I would say.
I'm finna start posting more because it ain't my target demo. I'm like, damn, I used to post on here every time we did an episode.
that's how I feel about Snapchat. I used to be on there a lot.
I only have
But
the app
again,
because of
though, I
y'all.
feel like back in the day when these apps first came out,
it was different.
it was so different.
It
It
was
was
so
so
different.
more about like my friends versus like
it wasn't
everybody else.
How
you know?
many likes I can get? It's
Yeah.
like, here's a stupid picture of John on
Yeah.
on a
He even
jungle
talked
gym.
about Snapchat, how a lot of people just have all these snap streaks with a bunch of strangers that they don't even really
Now he got into
know
some
about.
shit on there that was mind blowing to me, which I'll let us ease into every phase of the chapter before we skip around. Girls who say that they spend 5 or more hours each weekday on social media are 3 times as likely to be depressed as those who report no social media time. So he's continuing going on the correlation between depression or the causation of social media use and depression in social media in the U.S. and in the U.K. And the graphs he's showing, a lot of these I was seeing the graphs. I'm like, damn, I might not be able to understand. No, they're very understandable. The
sure.
rates are just going up crazy.
Hey, this far I'm going on social media. I logged into Facebook for 2 seconds. I seen 2 posts that had no business being on Facebook. Talking about girl got a new car, 500 down, 650 for the next 2 years,
that post.
and that shit got to be a 1999 car.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot going on here.
Authors reported the limited use group showed significant reductions in loneliness and depression over 3 weeks compared to the control group. So they did a control experiment where they had randomly assigned college students, greatly reduced the use of social media, and then you had some other people, I think, increase or stay the same. And there's just more facts and proof of loneliness and depression and different things with more use of social media. They also said results showed the exposure to manipulated Instagram photos directly led to lower body image.
Yeah.
Social media is used as a cause of anxiety, depression, and other ailments, not just to correlate. So,
yeah, I think you can kind of see that just from being on social media, like with all the filters and the beauty filters that these apps push and have girls using. And I think you could definitely see the correlation between it, because like you very rarely see like just normal unfiltered pictures posted nowadays. All of them kind of have filters.
Does social media affect groups as well as individuals? This is a good insight of this chapter, in my opinion. Just talking about how, again, social media can be harmful to you as an individual, but then because we are all friends and we have communities and everything,
weren't y'all just talking about how like distorting images for like females? Was it Rhea Ripley you said? That was like
Rhea Ripley,
one of her pictures you could tell was like altered. Like
and
I
she's
just
in
feel
the
like
top 1% of like that form of physical, visually.
Humans.
Yeah,
Not even
and
just women, just humans.
Exactly. And she still felt the need to warp her
alter it a
picture
little
at least
bit,
a
yeah.
little bit to make herself look, I think it was just to look swoller. Like, you got that.
Mhm.
Nobody's ever questioning whether or not you're swole or not. But for whatever reason, she felt like it was necessary.
and he making a point of just like, he said, just imagine how much bigger the effect would be if all the students in 20 middle schools could be randomly assigned to give up social media for a year. But then he says, more realistically, put their phone in a locker each morning while other 20 middle schools served as a control group, meaning they didn't do that. You would see the drastic improvement because it's a group thing, back to the point where it's like, even if we all up here said we want our kids to do this and not be on this and not have that until they're these ages, if they still are going into schools and environments where everybody else is having it, they still
What if in a way
don't get the impact.
What if in a way it just randomly came to my mind? Like if you're going to that school, right? Let's see the school creates an app similar to like what KB has, where you have to log into that app and it locks you out of all your social media
They did
sites.
that when we were in school, if you remember. Whenever you would use Hinsdale South's Wi-Fi,
Oh, the
there
Wi-Fi,
was
yeah.
only certain sites you could go to. You could not go on Facebook, which was the number one site at the time. You
that's
could
when
not,
we had iPods though.
you
They
could not
got
go on
the,
YouTube.
They got the iPhone 12.
With
This
cellular.
iPhone 15, about to be the 16.
Yeah, but that was easier to get around if you had data. You could just use
Yeah.
data.
Yeah, for sure.
But like
Most kids don't
now-
want to do that.
now you can just, the school has an app where if you have to log into it.
Kids would have to have the app.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they
kids
would.
will have to have an app that will lock you out of all your social media.
No, I'm saying the kids would have to have it, though.
and the school would just enforce it. You have to.
How would you know if a kid didn't have the app?
They can't make you put that on your phone. They don't pay that. They
Or
don't pay
even
that
if they-
damn phone.
Even if that's true,
They
that's
don't
my
buy-
reaction. But
pay
what
no
if
bills for
what
that
if they
phone?
hypothetically did, right?
Uh-huh.
How would you know if every kid had the app? You're gonna go every time you start a class, the teacher has to go and check the phone. And even if they check the phone and I have it for when I'm showing them, I could delete the app right then and there.
Yeah.
You have to go into depths of figuring out how you can.
Yeah,
That's like
but
a
I
school.
think-
That's like a school issued phone that got the app on it.
Right, some
you
shit
know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
I don't think you too far off though, Darrick.
Mhm.
Like as far as the realistic, like let's say you start every period,
At
the
homeroom.
the teacher gets the teacher has all of the people's names here, and then you have to click the app to show that you still have the
Yeah.
app. Boom. Darrick is green, Mike is green, Pierre is green, Kentrell is green. All right, now we start the session. And if for some reason you're not green, then you get kicked out of class, you get sent to the dean or something along those
Yeah.
lines. And you have to do it in all 9 periods. So you can't just delete the app.
Yes.
Because next period you need it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I agree with them though. How do you enforce that? Mike might be a jackass parent that don't want his kid to have this app on his phone. So what do you do?
Somebody's gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna have a problem. Number one. The second thing also is, do you as a school, are you willing to invest that much time? Because that's a lot of time you're gonna
The
do to
only
check
thing you
the
can
shit.
do if you're gonna do it is like just take the phones.
That's at
Yeah.
that
Put it in
point,
the closet. Start
it would be
But
so
I
much
think-
easier to take the phone.
I think that might be a little bit harder. I think a lot of parents might push back even harder on taking phones versus just saying, download this app that's going to keep you off.
I mean, they do that with the little pouches where it's like a pouch that you
Yeah,
unzip
they do
at
it
the
at,
end of
they
the
do it
day.
at comedy
But
shows.
it's like the pouch, I'm pretty sure, is still on you.
Yeah, I don't
You
even have to
just
take your
can't-
phone.
Oh, you can't
You can
use
do
your
that.
phone.
Because I mean, there is a world today where you can have your phone, but there are teachers around the world right now that are not allowing kids to use the phone in the classroom. So it's the same difference. If you put the phone in the pouch or would not, you're not allowed to use a phone in my classroom.
Right.
So you know,
Are they using those pouches in class? I've only seen them at comedy shows. I didn't know they used them in schools.
I'm not in school.
I've seen some schools use it. Not like personally, but I've seen it like videos of like this school is trying to do this method, and it's like they'll have a big ass lines of students, and they just come by, put it in the pouch, take the pouch with them.
I haven't seen it. I just know that by experience, I've been in classrooms where my teacher's like, can't use your phone. And you have a teacher that say you can't use your phone.
I've seen that too, but also that it don't really work. Telling a 16-year-old they can't use their phone, some teenagers are gonna rebel against it.
I'm sure it's a lot harder now compared to when we were in school for sure.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that they always used to rebel over. That kids, they're teenagers. They rebelled over everything.
Yes.
Even I went to school when phones wasn't that popular and kids still found shit to rebel over. So if the excuse is we're not doing this because kids gonna rebel, well, newsflash, they was rebelling before they, like, you couldn't smoke cigarettes and they would skip school and
They'd
skip
be in the
past and smoke a
bathroom.
cigarette. Right. Like they're gonna find something to rebel over.
We do have a few questions from the audience.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the 4 foundational harms? That is the social depravity or deprivation, sleep deprivation. You know the ones. Which you think is most damaging?
The
So
addiction.
social deprivation, sleep deprivation, depravity, and attention fragmentation or addiction.
I would say attention fragmentation or addiction, and then honestly after that I would go into the social deprivation. I'm learning a lot in terms of just like how important it is to communicate within people. I mean, like, obviously I relate to it. A lot of this stuff worries me because I have a sister that's about to be into like 9-10 years old, you know, so she's about to hit that mark where a lot of these things could be happening to her, and like I want to make sure she's in the best spot. So it's kind of like crazy to think that like the way today's age is, she's damn near set up to fail, kind of with the social media stuff and everything around. So it's hard, man.
Yeah, that's kind of why I lean towards addiction, because like I think the addiction of the phone causes all those other things. So like it's literally like a domino effect. Like you literally have this itch and this urge to constantly want to check and get this validation from social media that is honestly detrimental to you. And the addiction part of it, it causes the sleep deprivation because it puts this blue light into your eyes that essentially tells your brain to stop producing melatonin,
daytime.
which it causes you to not sleep at night. So I think the addiction part of it literally is just a trickle effect that causes everything else.
I think the one that's the most damaging is the attention fragmentation. Like even me, who's on this social media kick, I still find it hard to keep my like one stimuli at a time. Where it's like if I'm gonna play the game, I also want a YouTube video up. If I'm gonna watch YouTube, I also want to do this. Or like even our job is to watch basketball. I don't want to watch 4 games at the same time because I'm getting the pieces of the game, but I'm not watching any game.
This is the year I've rarely done 4 boxes unless it's like a crazy night and I really like. Usually I go through the games. I'm like, I really want to watch this game. I put this game up and this game up and I'm locked in.
I just feel like it's so hard to be productive when you're trying to do more than one thing at a time. If we focus on, I'm going to edit this video and I'm not going to have no distractions, you're going to be better at editing a video and you're going to get it done faster.
Yeah.
As far as the 4, I mean, it's hard to really pick which one is worse, to be honest with you. I think Darrick did a really good job of breaking them down. The one I connect with the most is sleep deprivation, just because I understand how important sleep is, especially to kids. A lot of this stuff is about the youth and adolescents and kids. And sleep is a very important trait for you because it allows you to have a certain focus. And when you wake up, and I'm speaking off experience because I used to stay up late as a kid, the difference in your day is dramatic. Even as an adult now, I could tell you right now, if I get the difference of me getting 6 and 8 hours of sleep or 5 or 8 or whatever, it's going to be a big change in me. And it's a lot of times, I forget what book I was reading, but sleep also is like a bank. A lot of people think if I didn't get sleep last night, I'm going to go to sleep earlier and then I'm going to feel better. But sometimes you wake up. How many of y'all have had times where you got more sleep the next night and you're still tired? That's because it's not like a bank where you transfer, I didn't get 4, so I'm going to get 4 extra. It's a rollover effect where your body is craving shit that you didn't get for the whole week. And so you still wake up sluggish or you might wake up worse than you did when you didn't get any sleep. And so I just think that is the domino effect to me. I think the addiction is right, how you painted it. But man, when you don't have a good night of sleep and you're rushing out of the door and then now you didn't eat breakfast. So now you're tired, didn't get breakfast, so now your energy levels are not even going to rise. Now you might have a headache. You know what I mean? Now you might be irritable. You're irritable. Your best friend comes up and joke with you how he normally does. You just give him a response. Now y'all beefing over nothing. And it's just a domino effect of everything that goes on. And now you can't focus on the test that you have. And now you just got an F. Now you're going to go home and get in trouble. And we could go down the whole, that's just halfway through the day. We can go continue down the whole day. And if this shit adds up for an adolescent kid.
You know what's so crazy, though? And, like, this is all just, like, me thinking, but it always felt like nobody really got 8 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually when I was talking to a lot of people, it's like, man, I had trouble sleeping, too. I couldn't go to sleep. I was on my phone. You know what I'm saying?
But when I talk to a lot of different people and you hear about a nap here, a nap there, and different things like that, or when I hear about the people that we view as excellent at what they do, they get sleep. They tell you LeBron James ain't missing no naps. You know what I mean? Like the people that we look at, we're not excellent in their personal life, but at what they do, they locked in and they talk about how much sleep they're getting. I was more so saying like as like kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like damn near being a kid and get into high school is like, yeah, I do be up till 1 or 2 in the morning. So like, you know what I'm saying?
It was like a.
It's just like, I mean, I was watching the game.
Stamp of pride.
Like everybody had the George Lopez like thing where it's like you woke up at 2 a.m. and you. But I feel like nobody got the right sleep. You know,
I feel like a lot of people did get to sleep because I feel like staying up to 12 and 1 was late. That's normal now in your life. Yeah, a lot of people I know they not going to bed till 1.
I know.
Yeah.
My girl was just talking about it because like obviously
school by itself tires you.
She had to like work in the morning, so she's like, man, like I know I'm supposed to go to bed, but like I really don't want to right now because it's like it's still kind of early. It's like 11. I was like, yeah. They say like people try to avoid going to sleep early because that's actually like when your free time ends and usually the next day starts and you have to go back to work and stuff like that. So when I have these 3-4 hours of free time, I'm trying to utilize them to the max. And that might have to roll over into some of my sleep, you know?
I do want to say that first question is from Johnny C. I'm not sure if I said that earlier.
Shout out to Johnny.
Second question comes from Riley H. Despite all the good points and research that Heights shares, I personally think society is too far gone. There's borderline no way to change the amount of use and importance of social media, and restrictions will never likely be made.
I agree.
And he's talking about like who can join the platform, so on and so forth. Do you guys agree?
I think that's a really strong point. I think about that all the time as I know the technology is going to progress and we're going to be more heavily relying on technology. I don't think we're ever going to go back to it. I think it's something that is going to be a very home-to-home thing. It's going to be an individual thing in terms of, like, what do you value?
That's 100% what I think. Like, this book, for me, is not something that can be fixed right now. Mm-hmm. But if us four band and read this book and say, hey, our kids, we're going to try to do it a little bit differently. And then the other million people that read this book, a percentage of them also takes that, then we can maybe start putting a little dent in that. But overall, I mean, what he's saying is probably true. There's probably borderline nothing that can be done on a larger scale. House to house is really what's going to be the most impactful.
Yes, because honestly, a lot of kids with like the social media era, a lot of kids are going to grow up wanting to be influencers. So like they're going to automatically want to be on the internet because they see that's what their favorite influencers are doing, and that's who everyone, especially on TikTok. A lot of kids use TikTok nowadays. They do nothing but sit there and scroll too. So like they already getting influenced by all of that. So I think it's going to be hard, but just because it's hard doesn't mean you have to run away from the problem. You have to face it head on, and we have to do it as a whole collective.
Yeah, I kind of see where they're coming from, but I disagree a little bit with their point. I definitely agree with y'all that it's house to house, but there were so many different things in the world before us that were not to this, not... It's different, but it was to the point, and we changed. All it takes is information and research. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was a time where smoking cigarettes was a phenomenon. Yeah. Kids did it. It was a cool thing. And then what happened was people got educated in the next generations on why that was bad. And so we didn't grow up sitting around smoking cigarettes in between classes thinking that it was some cool shit because we saw it on Grease. So it's the same thing. We have people like Jonathan, who are writing books, doing the hard work, doing the information, because without him going to do the information and the statistics and the facts, we would just have our own opinions about it. But when you have facts about it, you have guys like us putting it on our platform that's reaching hundreds of thousands of people, that's where the change has to be. What we have to stop doing as a society is trying to get a change to be like definite and here and rushed. It's going to take time because it took time for the shit to seam through. So we're not going to know. There's not going to be an answer that somebody's going to pull out of their ass and we're just going to change everything and fix it. But if we take the proper steps little by little by little, then impossible ain't really nothing. But we have to be okay with small wins versus trying to change some shit overnight.
And you had these billionaire owners would also have to buy into that as well. And
They will. You know why they will?
because we would have naturally as a society just stop.
No, I think some of this shit, when you read some of this book and some of that chapter in 6, I think, or maybe it was 5, the first thing that came to my mind is like, you do that and you do the money, but what's going to happen is these people are going to be impacted by it too.
Yeah, they would.
It's all fun and games until your daughter is the one that was in that drawing saying, stupid, fat, ugly, kill yourself. It's all fun and games until that's your granddaughter or your daughter, and then once that started to happen and you feel the results of it, it's a different ball game then.
Yeah.
So for next week, we got chapters 7 and 8, which is
Yeah, we only got 2 questions a week? Shit,
That's-
week.
I mean, we talked
Y'all
about
reading,
it.
I'm reading all these damn pages. Y'all got 2 questions?
I think we just
Shit.
picked 2. We got more, but
Got hundreds of pages to read.
we might have talked about that for like an hour. So
Did we?
it's a good place to stop.
okay,
at.
cool.
Next week is 7 and 8. That's going to close out this part, and we're like almost a little over halfway through the book at this point. And that's it. We wrap for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all listening or watching this episode of Numbers on the Board. Remember that if you're in the San Francisco area, come All-Star Weekend. Be on the lookout for more details. Come see us live. I think Mike said he was going to twerk.
Either that or I'm going to put on a concert.
One of the two. And he was scared to put on the concert last time.
So it might be twerking.
He's probably going to be twerking. So be sure to tune in to that.
Where my phone at? I need it.
We'll see y'all soon. Peace.